Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. But more importantly, blue morning to you all because, in fact, it is the Blue Morning Show. I hope you're eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. Let's get into the show right away. A lot of stuff to talk about. I'm sure all of us must have had the mindset story. Then we'll compare Declan Rice to Jude Bellingham and come to a sensible conclusion as to which of the two players will be more suitable, will provide more for us. And then again, debunk some rumors that we have out there. And that's, by the way, let's get into it immediately. Let's see what we have quite a lot already in the chat. I hope I'll be able to get all of them today. Excuse me. Let's do it, people. Yep. Again, the first person, available here is Martin, CEO. Martin says Rice has been documented to be hiding from the ball during possession, like McTominay and Gallagher. Realize how when they talk about him, no one says anything on the ball possession or qualities or all that or beating the press and all that. Again, that's not as much as I agree with what you're saying. That I don't think Rice is a bad player overall, but I get your argument. A solid argument indeed. Looks like you're taking your time to watch him. It's always showed a passion, pressed, ran a lot, and tackled, gave him 100% and so on. Mainly off the ball qualities because again on the ball is bang average. Again, I wouldn't call him bang average, but I'd say that's where I have a problem. His ability to break up opposition play, his ability to read the game, his defensive attributes make him the Rice that everybody talks about today. But beyond that, in terms of progressing the ball, when oppositions are pressing deep, pressing very closely on all that, that's where I am concerned. Blue morning, Kachila panel and chat. Blue morning to you too, Liam Lane. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Please like and subscribe. Yes, guys, keep liking the stream. If you're just entering, like and drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Those things to go along with. So thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And Chelsea Diehard says tuned in. Welcome, bro. Always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. We have again Mindset Tea in hot soup. Serious one indeed, and we will talk about that. What is happening there again is fire. Etihad, someone snitched. I don't know if it's a case of someone snitching. I don't know if it is a case of someone snitching or maybe the Premier League knew all the while and just gave them time. I don't know. Maybe someone just said, "Okay, look, I think they've been breaking this rule. Let's take our time and look at it." Maybe that was what happened. I don't know, but we'll find out just in time. Certainly glad to be Chelsea, Man City at the moment. Here's one thing that gives me confidence. When Barley took over, the first thing he said, we gotta look at the FFP. We got to look at again all the financial rules and all that. So again, that's why I always say it again. I'm not concerned because the truth remains they probably have some experts behind the scenes crunching the numbers and letting them know you can do this, you can't do this. This is where you can spend maximum. And if anybody is concerned about them going to the going to the Premier League, asking them to relax the rules a little bit, given how much again. Probably to give us opportunity to spend even more because we were behind in terms of spending, in terms of signing players because of the what's it called, the sanctions and all that happened during the hand again when we had the political issues that affected us that much. So I'm not really concerned. City looks like they are in big trouble. They're not. Again, they are. So yeah, very correct. They are in serious trouble. Chelsea is good. I believe we're good again. Let me see what else we have here. Man United is becoming second if they beat Leeds United FC. Like I said a week ago or two, they picked up form, and under Ten Hag, I think they play differently, and I think they're better trained than they were under the you could say the past two managers that they had. So yeah, they're doing well really. Man United is becoming second. Yep, I've read that one. Or still third, but they will be on the same point. Yep, the level point. I don't know the numbers, but I think they will level up with the second position team. I think so. Again, hey Chelsea family, don't fresh out. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Good morning, Coach. and others in here. Good morning to you too, boy, with Julius. I hope you're doing well. Love Chelsea 100%. We all do. Mount wants 240k pounds per week. He should stay at 80. Chelsea should increase it to 115. Here's the thing: we're not sure how much he's asking, so that's why I avoid talking about it. And like I've said, I think I did say this yesterday. The list of my or how much the club is willing to offer the player as a salary, because it's job for them. So they ask for what they feel like they're worth. That's the least of my business. What the least of my concerns. What I want them to do is just to perform on the pitch. That's all. So if the club feels like they're not what they're asking, then it's up to the club to deal with the situation, not me. It's not my call to decide what they're worth and what they shouldn't be asking and what they should be asking. That is not my call at all. Sorry again, it looks like one of those days where the connection will be acting up a bit. Let's see what else we have here. Liam Lane says, it's again, sponsoring themselves. What's the biggest rule break? This all started again, I'm guessing maybe that's the case, because we heard that story of them sponsoring themselves and then using that to leverage areas where they've made mistakes in terms of their spendings. Plus, there was a time they had an issue regarding their spendings, and what they presented to the authorities or to the bodies, whatever suits you prefer the best, did not tally with what they had on their website. So they had to now go take down what they had on their website. I watched a video on YouTube regarding that particular situation. So yeah, it is what it is. Again, it is their cup of tea. I don't want I don't want any part of it, if I'm being honest. But unfortunately, it is happening, and we're paying attention to it. Let's see. Let's start talking about it again. I think I had something up there regarding that particular situation, and it's this one here. Yeah, I think they are in a hot soup. Like who was that said it? I think it was our Ugandan brother. Correct me if I'm wrong, or South Sudan, from South Sudan. And if you're watching, people, if you have, please do take a second, if you don't mind. Let us know where you're following Chelsea perspective from. We like to know how how far and wide the channel, the community is able to reach people that are interested, that are Chelsea supporters. So yeah, I see that, and I get it. They're in serious trouble. How much trouble we don't know. We will look at this, and we will look at this the thread, the comments of following this up there. The City problem is the best thing to happen for us because it will really have our guys again making sure all we are doing is within the rules. I'm sure they're already doing that, but I'm sure again again they'd be even more careful now. If they were a bit loose, if they were a bit again if they were leaving anything again on any stones unturned, now they'd be paying attention more closely and be sure. But I'm sure again we haven't broken any rules. If we have, we'll be hearing about that by now. It's an unfortunate situation for them. Let's see what happens here again. If they had parts of the clubs making no money, but we're still able to put lots of money into the club, yeah, that's concerning. Like I said, I think it was a year ago or two. They sponsor themselves, so which means they can pay something over the board and say, yeah, that's what it's worth. In terms again, I think that started with a rebuild of the stadium or renovation. I'm not sure if it was a rebuild or if it was a renovation, but yeah, it's all out there right now, and they are in serious doo-doo, if you're being honest here. Smash the like button, guys. Coach, I am able again to join soon. Thank you so much whenever time allows, bro. Again, thanks for finding time to be part of the show. Yes, it looks like I'm still a bit sleepy. The coffee hasn't really kicked in. Yes, people, we have 25 likes, but we should be doing better than that. So if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I want to get your thoughts on what you think about about the Manchester City situation from Italy. Emmanuel Adino, thank you so much for letting us know. Adino, yeah, thank you so much for letting us know that you're watching from Italy. That makes us happy. Blue Blood says, I think it takes the spotlight off of us. I wouldn't want it to take the spotlight off of us. I want the spotlight to be on us. That way we'll be even more careful. At the moment, I don't think we've broken any rules. according to FFP experts who spoke about our situation, he said, but we have to make Champions League to be fine. We have to be part of the next edition of the Champions League to be okay. Not again. But if we don't, then there's a chance we get into trouble. But I don't think we get into as much serious trouble as Man City are in right now, because the talks are they've broken about 100, more than 100 rules. Again, and I don't want to get into it or pull it up here. It's mentioned in numbers what part of number that what part of the rules have broken and all that. But it is a serious, really. Let's look at again the following. Just 1 second, and not sure what this person is trying to say. Enzo Fernandez, correct? Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Let's see what we have here. Chelsea are so screwed for the future. I don't think we are. If anything, it makes us even wiser. Did somebody say point deduction? This is just the thread. I'm reading what people are saying there again. Yep, again, yeah, because this isn't the first time, if we're being honest. And this follow here says again, comment there, it says, what a club cannot feel, what a club cannot fill its stadium and does not have much commercial appeal, and it's end up earning more revenue than clubs like Real Madrid. Questions will be asked. Yeah, already they're asking the questions. That's what I think that's aligned with what Liam Lane already said. A lot of, again, they've broken a lot of rules. They sponsor themselves, so they earn more money that they should be earning. It's just them pumping money into the club because they're sponsoring themselves. So it just makes them, I think they're in serious trouble. So let's see what happens. Some people praying that we're next. I don't think anything happens to us. I think we're just fine. Like we said again, let's see what else we have in the chat here. Then we can move on to the next topic. You can say topics that are related to Chelsea. What we have here now, Emmanuel, welcome. And if we cannot beat West Ham, or best West Ham, if that's what you prefer, Porter should be packing his bags. Everton didn't sign a player, but best Arsenal. Okay, you cannot tell me the current Everton squad is better than us. Here's the thing. I get it. We should be doing better than we're doing. But one thing you'd never see Chelsea do is play the way, again, be as pragmatic as Everton were against Arsenal to get a win. I don't see that happening. But that's, by the way, people, yes, if you're watching, if you haven't, drop a like on the stream. And please, if you can, share the link. Again, share the stream to other people who would be interested in the topics we'll have lined up here to talk about. Porter will pack his bag if we don't beat West Ham United. I don't think that happens. A lot of people think that happens. We have quite a lot to talk about. We'll talk about Hansi Flick. What was he doing in the stadium? Why was he sitting at the place he was sitting? I think, who was he sitting alongside? I don't think it was Todd Boehly, but with a Chelsea board member. So questions, plus the links with Louise Enrique and Zinedine Zidane and all that. As much as I don't think it's anything serious, but I just want us to talk about them, if that makes any sort of sense. You don't first said, I'm sure there will be a better improvement in the next game. There will be, of course. We'll have the likes of João Felix available for selection. Mudryk, I think, will be better. He will probably recover fully at the time. And maybe the manager looks at what happened when we played with a 4-3-3. It was confusing, really, because we used FOTMOB here. FOTMOB was telling us it was a 4-2-3-1 structure, but it wasn't really. I had to watch. I watched the game again. I watched the game the second time to realize it was really a 4-3-3 structure. So but I think to accommodate Felix and still have a number 9, I think he'd have probably would go with a 4-2-3-1 structure where he can accommodate the number 9 and still have maybe another Madrid on the right hand side and what's his name? Mihailo Mudryk on the left hand side. That is if he doesn't continue with his with tendency to select or to trust more, not to reward performance, because what Madrid did with the time he had on the pitch was just excellent. He showed you can say he's on par with Mudryk, but plays differently. He's on par with Mudryk in terms of what he brings to the team, how he helps improve the team. If he doesn't start the next game, then Porter really it will become clear that he probably wants to get himself sacked, maybe to get the pair off or all that. But I don't want to get into that right now. Let's see what else we have here. Do you want Louise Enrique to come to Chelsea? I'd rather Hansi Flick. I think Hansi Flick plays, again, you could say he's also into tiki-taka, but more, you could say, a more penetrating approach. Bobby, I think the link is already on there. Didn't I send it? Please do let me know. Let me see. Did I think I sent it, but didn't. I think I already sent the link. Didn't I? I thought I did, but I haven't. Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me share the link in a bit. I know Bobby would really, really like to talk about the Manchester City situation, and why wouldn't he? But that's, by the way, let's see. Yeah, again, for me, Luis Enrique would be, again, I don't trust him, but I think DJ has convinced me otherwise, and I've taken my time to research him. Again, I know he's more aligned to Pep's approach, but I think he's a bit more, you could say he's a bit more pragmatic than Pep would ever be. Hansi Flick, I think it's the better of the two, but let's see what happens. We're not talking about changing managers right now because I don't see it happening. We just want to debunk links. The rumors linking us to those people and talk about them and make sense of it if it makes any sort of sense. But that's, by the way, let's see. Potter is still relaxing, and it's time to up his game. We'll get into that in a bit. 4-2-3-1, best for the likes of players. Again, we have 4-2-3-1. We give him, you could say, the luxury to accommodate João Felix or to accommodate a 10 because we need to be playing with a 10 and not 2-8. We need to be playing with wingers again and to give us width, if that makes sense to you. Please, how far back covers this injury? No, I don't have any updates. That again, but I think we still have time, so he'd probably recover by the time we play West Ham a few days earlier, actually. Sorry about that. I've sent it. Chelsea would be great again if Potter is sacked. Is that what you're saying? I don't see that happening. I'm guessing what we see there. Your picture is Shaola and Leo Messi. Correct me if I'm wrong. The space between Enzo and Gallagher is too wide. It looks like if both Gallagher and Mount are lost. I believe Luis Enrique is a better option. Let's not talk about that right now. We just want to talk about the links again. The rumors that the club have reached out to those managers. That's what we're not talking. I don't think Potter is going anywhere, if that makes sense to you. Coach, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Aja Oyedikachi, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate that. And I have, Roger in the house already. Roger, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show.
Wagwan, Coach.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And I hope you've forgiven me for trying to skip you the other day. And it was intentional because I don't like you. I know you.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, bro. I can't complain. I'm sure you wouldn't. You're not the type to hear the story, the Manchester City story, and not look into it. I'm sure you've done that.
Yeah.
But I want your thoughts on what's going on there and what can we learn from it. That is, if there's any chance we'll get into such trouble, I don't think we're. The owners, the first thing they did was say clearly we'll have to look into FFP, and I'm sure we've always said they have people behind the scenes crunching the numbers and saying this is where you stop. What do you think about the situation?
Yeah, listen, with regards to Chelsea, as I've said numerous times, I'll just use the NFL for an example. In 1992-93 season, they had the equivalent of FFP implemented. And each owner, all of them have software. I remember Stephen Jones, the son of Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys, in interviews saying that they have software programs that they look at a player and let's say they want this player for 4 years for X amount of dollars. They just plug it in and it basically calculates where they are within their parameters for their equivalent of financial fair play. It's called the salary cap. Similar thing, but just on a different context. And so I'm pretty sure that all the owners in, let's say, UEFA, especially the Premier League, have the same equivalent. Listen, these chaps are spending hundreds of millions and billions each year, and their net worth. So they're very well prepared and very well used to it. I know it's new to
and
UEFA.
wouldn't risk it.
No, it's new to UEFA. Regarding Man City, listen, this starts, I think, the 2010/11 season, and it to the 2017/18 seasons, and they have allegedly over 100 infractions of FFP.
Is it FFP or just the Premier League? Does it go beyond the Premier League? The issues they have.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I haven't read the full article from the Times, so all I do know is that we should. I would feel aggrieved, as should Liverpool and Man U, if indeed they did cheat the system. Whereupon, listen, wasn't it 2 years ago where they barely won the Premier League by 1 point? And if they did indeed cheat, let's say hypothetically, allegedly, then I think the title should be stripped from them. It's as simple as that. If indeed it's found that this alleged cheating did indeed help them win points. It all depends on the infractions. That's a lot to be over 100. We don't know the precise details. But if indeed the rumors are that, they have been financing themselves with backdoor, hidden, shall we say, accounts and so forth, by basically laundering money to defraud the EPL or the FFP by hiding or camouflaging funds, then point deduction. But why is it post? Well, it's going to take, and it's not going to happen today. It's going to be probably next year or the year after. These things don't happen overnight. So, I would feel aggrieved for, especially Liverpool, because they've been runner-up several times. And if that indeed did impact them, I would not be opposed to them being stripped of their title and given it to the runner-up, if indeed that is the case. It's alleged. Don't forget, what we must remember, we are innocent until proven guilty.
Here's where it gets worse. It gets worse if at any point the government comes into play and they use the term money laundering is applicable. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, sure.
Then it gets worse for them.
Oh yeah.
That didn't come to mind until you mentioned it. Then it gets worse to them. I want to get Bobby started. I want Bobby to educate us. Yeah, I want him to educate us on what's going on. But we have a few comments in the chat, and I want to catch that as quickly as possible. Come back on so you educate us on what's going on. Really, again, good afternoon to you, Ajay Yadikachi, and don't forget, obviously Potter is going nowhere, no matter what happens. We'll come back to Chelsea in a bit. I just want us to knock out this because Man City fan a few days ago actually started a petition, signing a petition asking again and the Premier League to and the Premier League to investigate Chelsea. Look where we're at right now. Potter's going nowhere. We get to that in a bit. Tony A, Tayo A. City has been breaking rules for a while now. It turns out it's been since 2010. You said right. Again, I wish
season,
2011. Okay, I wish Potter succeed with Chelsea, but doesn't help matters at all. And technically, he's very poor, and his substitutions always come so late. Okay, we'll talk about that in a bit. Man City have been accused of fake sponsorship. Yeah, I heard that before. Like I said, how they got away with it. Even again, when they built their stadium, we started hearing that. And also, again, like I've talked about this, they had something on their website, their financial report, that didn't tally with what they submitted or what they presented to the government or the board is responsible for looking at that. And then they had to take it down. But we get to that in a bit. But people, there may be some truth to it. Time will tell. There's quite a lot of truth if it is more than 100. Please keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys, for all the support. Talking about the Prince, Yeah, again, we'll come back to that. If it is money laundering, that is not good again for the whole club. To be honest, they could go into bankruptcy or even get relegated from the Premier League if the FA and the UEFA have their way. And the truth remains, again, if they get relegated, there's a chance that they have any clause on their or on the contracts of the players they have that say if we get relegated, you're gonna go with us. If anything, it will be if you get relegated, I'm gone. On my way again to college, but again up to Chelsea CFC Nation. Thank you so much for finding the time to stop by. It could also be taken to court because money laundering is a prison sentence and kind of thing. Yeah, if there's money laundering, there's a chance they dump it on someone to take the hit for them. But let's see what happens here. They have money; they can hire the best lawyers in the UK or in the world to represent them. Sleepyhead Potter and taking us forward and never will. It doesn't matter. We'll get back to Chelsea in a bit. Big up Chelsea perspective. Big up to you too. Mabat05. So Alex Ferguson, as a manager, used to drop players when they don't perform. Managers nowadays are too loyal to players, or you could say players have more power. That's how I see it, unfortunately. But we'll come back to Chelsea in a bit. Let's just knock this one out. Bobby, up to you. Your thoughts on the Man City situation. Should we be concerned about Chelsea? I just want you to clarify that because I know a lot of Chelsea fans naturally will be concerned right now.
I'm actually, at the moment, I've been listening to bits and pieces about this. This has been ongoing for a good number of years. Financial auditors have been revisiting Man City's accounts, as it were. And I think they say that they have found breaches in financial breaches for the Premier League, according to Premier League standards. They're meant to be over 100.
Yes.
What comes to my mind quite clearly is, and I suspect is amongst them, is the way they suddenly found this sponsor that sponsored their stadium for about £400 million, something ridiculous like that at that time. All sorts of things that link their sponsors back to themselves. So without being judgmental, because at the moment it remains an allegation, they are clearly asked to answer some questions further. I'm sure they've answered them in the past, and I'm sure these are new findings that they need to address. If they're found in breach, there's a whole range of punishments. They could have points deductions, definitely fines, maybe even have the Premier League titles won removed. Also, all sorts of things could happen to the club. However, all this is going to take a long time. Even the hearings, it's all going to take a long time. So it's not something that's going to be done today or this week or this month, maybe not even this year. But I think they should be treading carefully and they should be rather nervous. You see, they brought in their lawyers when UEFA found them in breach of FFP and went to the Court of Arbitration and managed to get their suspension from the Champions League reversed. They went to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, which is, I think, the same court that we went to when they hit us for players. And our problem wasn't a financial one as such. It was due to Gael Kakuta coming when he was allegedly too underage. Now, so being a country, hang on, this Man City is giving a statement.
Okay, you could go ahead and come come back to us
Yeah.
when you know. Yeah, Roger, let me come back to you. Are you concerned at all
In what sense?
for us, for Chelsea?
No.
And I think okay, I think you
If
talked about that, but are you concerned? Let me just ask you that question.
well, if Chelsea do anything that breaches any rules, whether it be Premier League rules or UEFA financial fair play
Hmm.
rules, then that would be cretinous because they have they reside in a country
Okay.
where a lot of their sports have FFP. So I would be I would be seriously shocked, to say the least, if that did indeed take place, because it's in their culture, it's their nature. They have been it's been there for 40 years nearly, or 30
All
years,
right,
I should say. So I
all right.
doubt it.
Let's let Bobby drop. That way,
Yeah,
once it drops, we can move on to Chelsea topics proper. Go ahead, Bobby.
Okay. I just heard their statement, and it's the usual. We provided information in detail, to put this matter to bed, and so on and so forth. Look, Manchester City is a nation state club, as I put it.
exactly. Yeah,
The nation state
a wealthy
is
nation,
an oil
Bobby.
state, and
Yeah,
they obviously have political leverage. Um, how much political leverage they'll be prepared to exercise for sport? Well, we've seen nations do some extraordinary things for sport. They will no doubt have all manner of lawyers. They'll no doubt have the power of bribe. They'll no doubt have the power of blackmail. And they'll no doubt have all kinds of behind the scenes things that they could use to get away with this or just get a slap on the wrist. I'm not necessarily impressed by the sensationalism that's coming out with this, but I think what is important is that it has been exposed. And should there be any breach or suspicion of any breach, as there was with the UEFA situation, and they are not fully held accountable, then it will just tell us all we need to know. That even right down to our own Premier League, nobody has the integrity to sit above corruption.
they need to
So
be
we wait
transparent,
and
Bobby.
watch. Well, I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so. I've been around too long in terms of football and so many walks of life. I've seen a lot of things that I've lost faith in a lot of mechanisms of established industry, as it
likewise,
were. There's a lot of under table, underhand stuff going on. And I
at a
hope it's
very
not,
high level. Yeah, yeah.
yes, yeah. I
In
hope
many
it's
aspects of the world, whether it be finance, business, government, sport, you name it. You're right. The
absolutely.
level of corruption worldwide, whether it be overt or covert, it is distressing.
It is too much. But however, having said that, without going there is. I mean, this has clearly been investigated over a period of time,
four
and for
years.
them to come out with this, that there are breaches in financial rules, and clearly they have charged. Let me get this clear: they have charged Man City, which means that they have evidence that Man City have to now step forward and refute. It's
Yes.
quite a serious thing.
Yeah,
And it's not something that can easily be hidden. However, because they've come out with this. But clearly, don't expect an immediate response because these are financial things. They've been audits, re audits, and counter audits, and it's going to take some time.
yeah. And Man City are going to drag it as much as possible.
They
If that
will.
makes sense. Yeah. So let's look at Man
But
City's
just,
response to.
just
Go
one,
ahead.
one final thing from
Hmm.
Chelsea's point of view. I don't know whether it was you that said this, Coach, because I was sort of listening in the car to some other platforms without involving myself. But from Chelsea's point of view, yes, I agree. It is possibly a good thing. I don't think these new owners aren't involved. They've just got here yet, but they've had a good financial outlay. And it's good because, it gets them now to understand that they need to keep themselves in line, even if it means over the summer having to offload certain players that perhaps they wouldn't have planned to. But just be sure that they keep themselves in line, which is a good thing. And I'm sure they are already doing it. Another thing that Chelsea fans need to understand, and I hope the Bowley Group have taken into consideration, if they have lawyers worth any salt, and this will be another thing that will tell us whether the whole sanctioning of Chelsea was more than just about a war. It was an opportunity to be vindictive and to destroy the club, is that some of our financial bookkeeping should be absolved by the period of sanction, where we could not trade, we could not sell, we could not do anything in order to generate our own
Income.
net revenue through the legitimate declared means with which we could delegate the income. So even if they calculate that to be £1 million, it is a mitigation that has to be taken into account. And I really hope they do that, because we were hit in Champions League games, in Premier League games, and cup games. That's a considerable consideration.
All right, let me catch up again. Look at what we have on the screen here. Catch up with the chat and now bring in Rodrigo in. I'm sure he has something to say, or maybe planning to start a petition to bring the UEFA into the fold and FIFA too.
Yes.
Yeah. So here again, here's their statement. Like Bobby said, the usual thing. Man City FC is surprised by the issuing of these alleged breaches of the Premier League rules, particularly given the extensive engagement and vast amount of detailed materials that the EPL has been provided with. Yeah, but again, there were signs that they were doing something wrong. Like I used an example of they had an accountant report on their website, and when people started going, whoa, something isn't right here, they took it down. If something was really if something wasn't really going behind the scenes, they should have left it where it was. There's actually a video regarding that on the website. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Once you're done, I'll catch up with what we have.
I've got an
experience. Yeah, go ahead.
I've got an experience with one of Man City sponsors. It's a company called QNet. You can look it up. It's one of those pyramid scheme companies. You know those companies where you have to get people sign in and then you get points. It's like, remember like Herbalife.
Oh, they have such sponsor. We can
yes,
what's it called?
QNet.
That's something that's a term they call it in the US.
Marketing, something marketing. They've changed it. They used to call it, obviously it's a pyramid scheme.
Go ahead. I understand what you mean.
Multi-level marketing.
Yes.
Yeah. So they had a company like that called QNet, and I used to see that at City Ground, and I used to think like, this company is a scam, because I had a friend approach me and got me to sign up to this company. I bought a product for 50 quid, and I was promised a bunch of things, and it never happened. And then when I saw that they were sponsoring Man City, I knew this club was up to no good. And unfortunately, this investigation, whatever, it doesn't mean City can't sign players, or maybe they can sign players but they can't be registered to the Premier League
until proven, until you get in the court of law.
Because it's not a UEFA. No, because it's not a UEFA or FIFA ban,
so
they can still sign players. But the only thing I don't know, obviously I don't know the rules, but I'm not sure they can register them to play in the Premier League. I don't know the regulation there. So they can still sign players. They can still play in the Champions League, because this is not UEFA rule. But let me get something. Do they have the Premier League any sanctions on them already? You're sounding like there's one already. No. It's not one. Okay. They just find them. They find them guilty of breaching. But eventually they're giving them a chance
Okay, no
to
punishment yet.
no punishment yet. And another thing is they can't appeal this to the sport. What do you call it? The court of sport, the court of arbitration.
called
Court
CAS,
arbitration.
They can't appeal. They can't appeal that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if they are found guilty, that's it. They only have one shot at this. They need to prove to the Premier League that they didn't breach any of the rules. But we all know, like, they did, because the way City, out of the blue, City were reported as one having more revenue than clubs like Real Madrid.
And nothing were really coming in.
Nothing were really coming in. So the owners were pumping millions of pounds in this club because they were using Man City as a sports washing enterprise. And
wow,
yeah, it's very sad.
Hey,
very
gentlemen,
sad.
Did you say that it does not include UEFA breaches?
No. But obviously, the Premier League.
UEFA may look at it and say,
exactly,
"Yeah, we have to do something."
Exactly. UEFA may look at this. UEFA may look at this. But if UEFA get involved, then they're in trouble.
Can I just read from the BBC just very briefly?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
It says here that the further alleged breaches relate to rules requiring full details of manager remuneration from 2009 to 2013. The Premier League cited breaches rules related to UEFA regulations, including financial fair play from 2014 to 2013, 2014, and 17 to 18, as well as the Premier League rules on profitability and sustainability from 2015 to 2018. So here we go. So basically, it has referred the club to an independent commission over alleged rule breaches from 2009 and 2018. It has also accused City of not cooperating since the investigation started in December 2018. So here's sorry, sir.
You said again, accusing City of not cooperating with the investigation.
Yes, and it's going to go.
They're in serious trouble, really.
Yeah, but you know what I don't like? It's going to a commission that will investigate this, and it's behind closed doors. There is no transparency.
I hate commissions. It should be.
Yeah, we know that. We know commissioning. Oh my God! You know that's never gonna happen.
I'm sorry. This is unacceptable. You know, I don't like the fact that it's not going to be, either televised or recorded, by transcribers. This is basically going to an investigation. So the proceedings of the commission, chaired by Murray Rosen KC, will be confidential and heard in private. That's baloney.
Yeah, I mean, it can still be made public by having TV coverage, but you don't have to allow the public.
Yeah, but it's not going to.
Yeah, but they're not going to there. I don't like. I hate commissions because they can. Politics comes into play as long as it's a commission.
Yeah, and this is what's transpiring. This is indeed what's transpiring. It's private and it's behind closed doors.
This is I think eventually the UK government will step in and save City, because the relationship that the government has with the Middle East, Abu Dhabi, that region of the world, especially now with the natural gas crisis, the fact that they sell a lot of
gentlemen, it's chaired by a KC. That's a King's Council. That's the High Court.
Yeah, no, it will go unpunished. They will do something ceremonial, maybe a financial punishment, but it wouldn't go to the extent where City are getting point deducted. Or I don't think we'll get to that.
It depends, because if they don't punish them, if they don't deduct points, at least, even if it is 10 points or 5 points, they're setting a dangerous precedent, because whataboutism is very strong.
Exactly.
Whataboutism is a powerful thing. Like, most people overlook it. If anybody does anything in the future and you come and say we're deducting points, their lawyers will come and say, look, the precedents. We have a precedent here. Look at how you handle it when these guys did this. They have to. It depends on the severity, because we're just going by what they told us now, and the numbers. They call in the rules C1, C4, and all that. we don't really know what it means. But let's see what happens. Yeah, Rodrigo, I hope you didn't bring your bus today because the transfer window is shut. You're not getting any passengers.
I have the bus. I have the Potter out bus. Choo choo.
All right, people. Liam, let's just come on. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. So keep liking the stream, guys. Let me catch up with what we have. Then we switch to Chelsea talk. I think I should start by because let me leave this on the screen because there may still be comments aligned with this particular topic. Man City behind, but the future meets the end. Haaland cries, "I wish I joined Chelsea." Okay, City needs to be careless. Needs to be careful because Man United is 3 points away from them, and if Man United is second, they wouldn't want to drop points. And if the City gets point deduction, then Man City becomes title contenders. If that makes sense. Again, what happens if they get the stripped of Premier League titles to the runners-up, get that trophy? As much I wouldn't really want to win.
No
Trophy.
one
I
gets.
wouldn't want to win trophy like that. What do you say, Rodrigo?
No one gets anything. He just gets stripped off them. He's not gonna go to. No one.
Then why take it off of there? It doesn't make sense. If they won it over, if they'd beaten Liverpool again, I think on 2 occasions or once, and Liverpool would just beat them by 1. I don't know how many points. Then Liverpool should get it. Yeah, 1 point.
No. It doesn't work like that. Because first of all,
why does it make sense that it doesn't work like that?
It does. No, it does. Because these sanctions are not football. They are football related, but they're not on the pitch sanction. For example,
they didn't cheat. They did not cheat.
They didn't pay referees.
But the lawyer could argue they had money they spent and bought the best players to win the league, so it's still tied to it somehow. It depends on the lawyer, but nobody will go and say, no, I don't think the other teams in the Premier League will get a lawyer and say, go make sure they strip them off the title.
The BBC they can have sanctions against them. They can actually be kicked out, expelled from the Premier League. They can have points deducted in the future, but not
because it's tied, right? You can tie it to the Premier League. You can tie the money they got to the Premier League.
That's what the BBC have written.
Yeah, it gives them an unfair advantage to some people.
That's exactly the term. Wow, I'm impressed.
I'm learning from you. Let's try and catch up with what we have there. And again, if you're in the chat, avoid using more than 3 emojis. The machine that's policing the chat will delete your message, if that makes sense. What happens again? I think Rodrigo has responded to that. Smash the like button, smash the like button and comment. And also, again, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Those things do go a long way. Thank you so much for all that. Let me see what else we have here. Sent you. Yep, I've read that, and thank you so much. I appreciate that. Man City will get away just the way they got away from UEFA. Did they really get away from UEFA entirely? I think
they got a slap on the wrist.
Okay, but this is too big because I think this will, if anything, will become. I think, given again the part of the world the new owners are from, given how much they've spent and how many titles Man City will have won, I think this will spill into politics.
Exactly, and the other clubs as well.
For sure.
But you've already heard La Liga, you heard the French league. They're already making a lot of noise about the Premier League and how there's a lot of financial doping in the Premier League. So this is so big because City and Chelsea are the 2 clubs that are always being targeted for some financial breach. So if City can't get away with this,
it will spill into politics. Just like the Chelsea sell and the politics affected Chelsea well. Otherwise, and politicians do pay attention to what people are saying. I'm sure a lot of Chelsea fans vote for the current party in power in the UK because they'll be telling them, look what you guys did to my club. I want to see what you do now. Especially if the term money laundering applies, the government must come into play. But go ahead, Rodrigo. If you were saying something, let me catch up. So we'll move on to Chelsea.
The current government, the Tories, are in trouble. Like there's a lot of turmoil in society right now in the UK. A lot of strike. People are not happy with how things are running. So I don't know. I think Man City are in big trouble. I don't think they can get away with this. Before the World Cup, maybe, yeah, because now everything is out in the open. And I fear for them. Because they need a rebuild. They were banking maybe on this summer to go in and splash on players. But I think they are in trouble. Pep is going to walk. I can see Guardiola leaving. Yeah.
That's
we
my
don't know.
thought
There was a
exactly.
quote saying, he said, if I think someone asked him about if the club are doing anything wrong in the background, he said, if they lie to me, I'm going to leave. Because they promised me that everything is fine. I don't know if this is a legit quote or yeah, we'll see.
Rodrigo, did you say City won't have a problem registering players for the Champions League? The British weekend.
The championship.
He just fixed it for you.
This guy.
He just fixed that for you, so you have it. Oh my goodness! Much love to you, brother, and thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Let's see again. Is it this? He's responding to someone else in the chat. Okay, he's quoting somebody's tweet. Now reports that Man City will not be able to appeal any sanctions to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, the one which overturned the UEFA ban. Because I think it makes sense because this is a UK case, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's been pursued from a financial perspective. I don't know how you can isolate that from sports. If they're able to get it to be isolated from sports, then they're not going to have any point deduction or their titles again taken away from them. But I'm not sure. Again, there's a lot. Like it will take a lot of time. Twitter now reports Man City will not be able to appeal any sanctions. I think I've read that too. So thank you so much for that contribution. I saw somewhere this morning if they're found guilty under Premier League rules, they cannot appeal to the Court of Arbitration. So this is more clear to what Don Fresher was saying. That makes sense. Again, we will play better if we come with a structure like 4-2-3-1. We'll come back to that in a bit. Let's just round off with the Man City talk. Our players not registered in their parent leagues cannot play in the Champions League. So there you go. It gets even more. So it's complex, but we're getting more clarity as to what can happen. So if they cannot register any player in the Premier League, that player in particular in question will not play in the Champions League. If that again, thank you there for Tommy for that. Guys, again, how are you today? How are you too? I hope you're doing well. Unfortunately, the City group will brown backs. I think this is not going to be easy. This is not something you sweep under the rug easily. A lot of clubs will ask questions. There's a way you handle it. I think they're in trouble. Let's just put it that way. Let's see what happens. We can take Julian Alvarez from there. Okay. If Richard Potter again, we'll come back to that. Let me get to the very bottom. What has to happen to Chelsea to buy Alvarez? I don't know. Anybody want to answer that?
What was the question?
What has to happen for Chelsea to buy Alvarez? I think he's talking about Julian Alvarez.
What's Man City get on the money? I take Rodri instead. I think we need Rodri more than Alvarez.
Really?
I think De Bruyne.
Rodri next to Enzo. Wow, what a midfield.
Yeah, Rodrigo, I think you missed something. I'll take De Bruyne.
He's old, man. He's finished. I'll take De Bruyne, but I feel like it's
okay.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but
still a great player, though.
Yeah, but their club name again is inscribed into the trophy. So you patch it up. It's easy. That's not a problem. You can fix that so easily. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. But here's the thing. I think it's complex, and even some bits of what I've been hearing for a while now is coming back to me. There was a time the stadium naming right, they used that to make a lot of money from their parent company too. The Etihad, right? I think I remember that story.
Yeah, they're a state-sponsored owned football team. State-sponsored from a wealthy nation. I mean, they're on a different.
Wow,
on a different stratosphere than virtually any other team in the world.
Yeah, Rodrigo, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was reading something. Apparently, you remember when UEFA tried to ban them for seasons. Apparently,
Mhm.
the only bit that got them was the got off from technicality, because the time window UEFA was looking was too old, so they did breach UEFA rules, but the time window was like 2 years outside of the window that UEFA should have been looking at. So, for example, UEFA said, this is just an example, yeah. So UEFA say in the last 5 years you need to adhere to these rules, but UEFA then look at City in the last 7 years, so they were like 2 years outside of that window. So that when City
Oh, so
to,
they did
to the,
no brown
yeah,
envelope there.
yeah. So when City took it to the court, they got away with
Technicality.
it. But the Premier League doesn't have that rule of time. So the Premier League can look at your finances or your activities for as long as they want. So I
Yeah,
think that they're not getting away with this.
because the rules have been in place before they bought the and all that. Yes, guys, please keep liking the stream. We're 60 likes right now. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Says I post link on my Facebook. Hope that somebody joins too. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Eugene Naughty. Again, how do you not? Is it naughty? Should I? The American way naughty, but is it naughty? If the can let me know how to pronounce your name correctly. Porter needs to change his reaction. Like again, we'll get to that in a bit. What a wonderful project City has.
Glenn.
Yeah, of course you know him. City avoided UEFA punishment by the clever use of the time bar. The Premier League don't do time bars. They will investigate you. Again, grandparents if they if they have to. Yeah, they're in serious trouble. For being honest, City will be back again at the Premier League after one season if they get relegated. Here's the thing: the Championship is different. It is different, and probably believe me, if they get relegated, it's not. I don't think that happens. If they get relegated and they go with the team they have now, they will struggle to come up. It's not where you keep it pretty. It's not where you have a lot of tappings. They get again. If you know, I don't think they have that the sort of players that will help them make it back. And it's you battling teams that play. I don't know how to the most physical teams week in week out. It's not like every now and then you get to play like Burnley or Bournemouth or Newcastle in the league. No, it's every week. Every team is physical. Every team is difficult to play against. So probably they may need to sign some certain. Usually, what teams do when they get relegated, they know experts. They know experts that can help them come back. There are players you can call experts in terms of helping teams return to the Premier League. They know them quite well. Players that are used to the Championship. It's not going to be that easy. It doesn't matter.
Championship is a very tough league, Coach.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah,
Physical, very physical. I mean, wow, yes, it's demanding on the body and it's fast paced. It's actually a very entertaining league to watch. It's not as technical. The players aren't as technical, but man, it's a brutal league.
It is indeed. It is indeed. And I want to say something quickly. Out of respect to the OGs here, I think I may in a bit make this as subscribers only. So that again, yeah, if you've been part of the community, so I'll get your comments. Then if we're overloaded, then I know everybody's part of the community. Then I'll try to do the best I can to get everybody's comment. It will be bad for UEFA and Premier League marketing. So don't worry, nothing will happen to City. You think so? I think again, if it spills into if the term money laundering applies, then you can't sweep it under the rug like that.
It's basically corporate, money laundering, because they're gonna have financial investigations. There is no statute of limitations, so this is good. But they're going to have forensic financial investigators, and they'll go over it with a fine-tooth comb. And what this boils down to is, corporate laundering of funds. This is what it is. It's not your money laundering like if I want to money laundering money if I'm selling something illegal. No. But what they're doing is they're using, shall we say, set up businesses that are, for all intents and purposes, illegitimate. They don't do what they're supposed to do, and they're using them as a front. So they are basically, this is a form of corporate laundering.
Yeah, it is. It is no different, really.
Yeah.
Now we know why, again, he was going on about 9 clubs wanted a City banned. Well, again, UEFA is more than FBI and CIA. They can really sniff. Yeah, indeed. They're good at it. Wonder if Kevin is eager for a return to the bridge. It all comes down if you're able to pay his salary. I think he would come. Again, you could say he has a point to prove. Though, is that the better way or unfinished business? Ederson to Chelsea. Let's go. I like his footwork, but I don't like the other aspect of his goalkeeping abilities. Sorry?
Of all the City players, including the manager, you can go for Ederson.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I take half the Man City team.
I take Pep
right
now. I'll take Pep. Yeah, but again, but that's not fair. I don't think Pep. Also, I don't think the owners will go for Pep. I don't think he's a long-term manager. Again, I cannot wait for the Man City garage sale, Rodri and Enzo. Let's get those likes up. Yep, let's get it to 100 as soon as possible, people. But my brother, Chelsea diehard, wants 200 immediately. We can do that. Breaking news, UEFA say they will not strip City of their Champions League titles. Yeah, and they've won 3.
That's great.
You see, Glenn does that. Liam Lynn does that again. And I read it thinking maybe UEFA wants...
That's nicely done, Liam.
Nicely done. That's his thing now. I'm going to be careful reading all your stuff now. Arsenal, Manchester United coming up, Liverpool, Spurs, City, week. Chelsea with a new owner. The Premier League is resetting itself. I think it makes sense, really. That's a solid argument, if you ask me. Next, PSG.
No.
I think they played it smartly. If anything would have happened to PSG, it would have happened now. If anything, it would be with FFP.
Yes.
Yeah.
The French league. The French league, I don't think they will take anything now.
Oh no.
Yep.
They can't. They need them.
Yeah.
They need PSG.
They do need them. Yep. Except if the FFP swear if they have an issue, then they're in trouble. And I think they've been cautious in terms of their spending. And plus, look how cautious they've been. They're getting Skriniar on a free. And are they paying anything for him? No, they're not. Sorry?
Yes. They get him
for
free.
They're not. They get him on a free, yeah. Again, big up, brother, and all the brothers. Big up to you too, Asma. I hope you're doing well. Why the Bruyne guys? Again, Felix is a baller. So, yeah, we need squad depth, if that makes sense to you. So, yeah, let's say laugh with caution, people. They will try and do us like this in next 3 years. I think we're good, if that makes any sort of sense. Anybody want to add anything to this, or should we move on to the next topic?
I think we should move on, but it's interesting though, and it's sad actually, to be honest with you, because it puts a bad light upon our league. It's reflective on us. It's if they are indeed found guilty, then this doesn't bode well. It tarnishes our reputation. So it's a lose-lose all around, really, and for the sport itself, actually.
Especially as the other leagues have already been calling out the Premier League for all the financial doping and so on and so. Yeah, I mean, people should get it. It's not because of City spending. It's because of the sponsorship and all that thing in the background. So Chelsea are not doing anything wrong. It's not like Todd Ball is creating a fictitious companies to sponsor us and then doing something crazy and then use that money. Chelsea are making revenues that don't exist. No. So
exactly,
it's not. We're not in that category. Only problem is the way we spend money. We just have to make sure we're within FFP, and as proven, we are still within FFP. So.
Of course.
Yeah. What else we have here? Let's start looking at this. As much as I don't think we need him, but let's talk about him. Let's compare him to Rice. Whether he's a better option for us. Start with you, Rodrigo.
I'm around, coach.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Okay, thank you, Bobby. Let me start with you, Bobby. Since you haven't spoken for a while, or maybe let me come with to you next. Let's start with Rodrigo, since it's first in line, the way we're lined up here. Rodrigo, Borussia Dortmund will not sell Jude Bellingham for a fee lower than the 120 million Chelsea paid for Enzo Fernandez. Your thoughts? Do you think?
I love this. I love the fact that we've ruined the market. Yes. So no. If you want your Jude Bellingham, cough up the money, mate. I'm so happy with this. But personally, I don't know. It's just me. It's just me. Jude Bellingham doesn't move me that much. He's a brilliant player, but
Really?
he doesn't move me. He
He's
doesn't.
young. Do you know how young he is? Is
He's
he still a
19. It's
teenager?
not even
Yeah.
about his age. It's not even about his age. I think he's just about
Well,
what we need
when
at
I
Chelsea.
say age, that means that his ceiling is
Yeah, I know
gonna
he
be
has high ceiling
yeah.
and all that and all that. It's just that what I think we need as a club, as a team now. I don't know. I just personally I don't think Jude Bellingham is what we need. I think the signing of Enzo, we need to build this team around Enzo Fernandez. We
I
spend a
agree.
lot of money on this guy. He's a centerpiece now, and I like the
Yes.
fact that he's a transfer record. So that takes a lot of pressure off someone like Mudryk, who would have been in the limelight. So now we have Enzo to take off that. Jude Bellingham for 120 million, that's really good. So that means any club that say Liverpool, they want to sign him, they spend 120. I know for a fact that will be the only player they will sign. So that means Jude Bellingham alone doesn't resolve Liverpool issues. So
But
it's good.
you know what though? It's not just us getting it; it's the fact that no one else.
Let me ask you again between Jude Bellingham. Go ahead. It looks like he has a question for you.
Bellingham or Declan Rice, for example. Yeah,
I'll take Bellingham.
I
They're
take Rice.
completely different. They're completely different players.
I know
Yeah,
they're completely
different, but
I
I
take
think
Rice.
each of them, Bellingham can do at least again do what Rice does to an acceptable measure. That is contributing
because we have Enzo. If we didn't sign Enzo Fernandez,
exactly.
then I would take.
And Enzo's already good at protecting defense.
But you don't want to limit him there. Enzo is
No,
good.
you don't want to. But with Jude Bellingham, a pairing of Jude Bellingham and Enzo becomes a case of again if he ventures forward, then Enzo will be able to read the situation and drop back. If Enzo ventures forward, then Jude will be able to read the game and then be a bit more reserved. You get my point now. So it would be more. I think the pairing of Enzo and Bellingham will give us more because you don't have to wait for it to be. It doesn't have to be a particular individual being the one that will always, be the one to have the license to go forward. Both can. And Jude Bellingham, his assist numbers are high. Actually, go ahead.
You know what though? Sorry, Rodrigo. Just 1 second. The one thing that Jude does bring that Enzo doesn't is the fact that he's far more clinical in the air and he's a lot taller. That's the one aspect of his game.
And do you agree that he can also contribute defensively?
Yes, but based on the fact that we do, Rodrigo's right. Based on the fact that we already have Enzo, I think we need a destroyer, as Bobby would say. And
do you know?
Rice,
let's be clear here. Do you know that Enzo is a destroyer?
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I get it. He is,
but the difference is that again he's more equipped. He can also do even more offensively. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah. But listen. This is my perspective that I think if we get, let's say, a more defensive orientated midfielder like a Rice, hypothetically, doesn't have to be him, but someone of his mold, his ilk, then this would allow Enzo to be more creative up front, more forward, if you will, because he is. If you notice, even in his first game, the passes with which he made over the top, and I saw that in the World Cup also. He can spray the ball around, as they say.
Here's my argument.
It's a win-win no matter what,
Yeah,
so
exactly. No matter what happens, it's a win-win. That's why we're here to debate. Here's why I prefer them both. If it is Rice and Enzo, which means Rice, all he does is just break up the play, read the game quite well, make sure our defenses were protected, right? And Enzo will be the sole guy from the two deep-lying midfielders to do more offensively, right? That's fine. But even knowing Potter, I think Potter will tell you again. I know Potter again, knowing how since I followed him, I think he'd prefer a combo of Bellingham and Enzo. Given the fact both are good offensively, and Enzo and both are actually good again in terms of protecting the defense, which means it becomes a case of whereby it's not about only Enzo being the guy to be contributing offensively. Jude can. So when Jude is doing that, then Enzo will be able to read the game and say, okay, let me be a bit conserved here. Let me not push with him. If Enzo is the one further forward, then Jude will drop back. Then we're better equipped to do more attacking wise, if that makes sense. That's why I'm arguing.
But
to me,
Rice, I see your point, but Rice, I think, is better defensively than Bellingham and Enzo.
But Bellingham can also do a bit of that.
No, I agree. I'm not disputing that. Yeah. Listen, it's a beautiful problem to have, and I use problem in a good context.
Yep. Again, how about you, Rodrigo? Your two choices there. And just quickly, let's get this one. Let me just say hello to people. Hello to you, Choma. I hope you're doing well. Arsenal gonna be Asterix champions. Can you elaborate? I want to know what you mean by that. Give me clarity.
Yeah, that's because they have points deducted for Man City, so Arsenal won because that's cute. That's
yeah.
Did you call me, Coach?
Sorry?
Did you call me?
No, I'll come to you in a bit. Rodrigo hasn't even finished speaking.
No,
the book.
I was gonna finish on this. I'll say between, for me, my preference is because we spent 120 million pound on Enzo Fernandez. We need to get a second midfield. I feel like he needs to be the player that we built this Chelsea process, whatever you want to call it, around. So we need to get a cheap alternative to play next to him as a destroyer. I wanted to get Onana. Some Chelsea fan was saying, "Oh, Onana is shit," but yeah, look at him. I think a player like Onana, a player that has higher defensive output next to Enzo, it will be.
He rejected us.
You rejected us, yeah, maybe, yeah. So I think we need that defensive pairing to Enzo. We don't have to go spend another 120 million pound on Bellingham. Is an unbelievable player. If we didn't sign Enzo, I would have gone straight for Bellingham. And then again, personally, if I have Bellingham in my team or Enzo, you want to limit the defense. You obviously they want to do the defensive work, but you don't want them to be limited. That's from just doing that. Like what we saw against Fulham, I don't want to see Enzo playing as a lone six. I want occasionally, yes, but that shouldn't be his primary position. It's like having Fabric playing.
Rodrigo, just quickly, if we have a very potent attack, of which again, by the time Nkunku joins, our attack will be again the most feared in the Premier League, one of the most feared, right? If we have a very potent attack, I don't think the 2 6s or the 2 deep line midfielders depends on the structure. If it's 4-3-3, then you have a single 6 or a CM if you prefer. Depends on the application. Then they have less work to do. If that makes sense. Naturally, if you have a very potent attack, your deep line midfielders will have less work to do in terms of protecting the defense, because your opposition's focus will be stopping the attack. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, for me, I was just looking at the money. Personally, I would just go for
Rice will never come cheap.
No, not Rice. I wouldn't go for Rice either. I'll go for a good, cheap alternative that can do the destroyer role next to Enzo. Is not an expensive player. There are lots of players, lots of cheap alternative. Amrabat just popped to mind, for example, for Fiorentina.
Oh yeah.
Someone like that.
The Moroccan. Is that the Moroccan?
The Moroccan guy, for example, just him.
There's Amrabat, there's Ismail Benessa. Those
exactly.
Are
There's so many really good prices. Yeah.
But I love him. And Rodrigo, tell me, wouldn't you take Benessa?
Oh my God, give me Benessa. Oh,
what's his release clause? 50 million.
Yeah,
I don't know.
50 million euros.
Wow.
So which
that's
means
45.
that's after extending. But the truth remains, players these days, they will agree to extend, but they will make sure the buyout clause won't be anything crazy. But again, the truth, there's also a chance that the buyout clause won't be active until after 2 years or so. That usually comes into play. But go ahead, Rodrigo, I'll let you drop.
No, that's it. I want a cheap alternative to because I want Enzo to be that centerpiece of attention, to be the guy for Chelsea. We need to make it work. We can't. Yeah,
I think it makes sense. We don't have to spend too much money there. Again, I got scared about Chelsea after I heard Man City. Not really FFP, it's the Premier League at this point. Yeah, but you shouldn't be scared. Like we've talked about this before. The owners, the first thing they said is we have to look at the FFP, and I think they did their research, and I'm sure they have experts looking at it and telling them what to do and what not to do, if that makes sense to you. Let me see what more I can get. Rivals are hating us, and they want us to be in relegation. I don't think we'll be in relegation, except if something comes out of nowhere, but I don't see what that would be. Because we invest big money now. We invest big money now, and in the next years, I don't be necessary to invest. Yeah, we won't be spending that much money in the future. We spent quite a lot now, and we have young players who've been mature enough to be part of the team in a year or two. Bellingham was going for over 100 million, regardless, in my opinion. He was never going to come cheap. And Keshawn, I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know. They're complaining to Premier League to deduct 15 points from us. Yeah, how many points are you going to deduct from Manchester City? And Chelsea wanted Osimhen, Leao, and Rice. Of all of them are above 100 million. What are we doing? Are we going to make Super League teams? I don't know. But again, I'm not sure what to say. But let's see what happens. Don't say that he could score against us in the Champions League. Who are you referring to, Chama? Let's see. What do we have here?
Referring to Bellingham.
Jude. You never know. That's a chance. He may well see it as an audition. That is, if he wants to come to Chelsea. But there are other clubs that are looking at him. He's I heard that he's a Liverpool fan. Real Madrid are interested, but Real Madrid are actually packed in that area, except if they're going to let one of Chouameni and Camavinga leave.
Why would they do that?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they feel like Bellingham is a better talent. They do that all the time.
Modric is going to retire soon, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay.
And Toni Kroos as well.
Yeah, and in terms of, again, if you're asking why would they do that, they do that all the time. They had Odegaard, and they signed again. That's what they do. If they see a better talent, they wouldn't mind letting the one they have go.
I get it.
Yeah, they do that all the time. They don't really care. No sentiments for them. If that makes better sense. Bellingham better than Rice. The Premier League aren't touching us. The UK government should have gone for the head of Come on, you please. Let's go. Keshawn, again, this is a conversation between two people. And right now I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and then I'm going to try to get your subsequent contributions. Bobby, coming to you, your thoughts are, again, would you want a combo of Bellingham and Rice, or Bellingham and Enzo, or do you prefer Rice and Enzo? Whichever your choice is, you let us know why. And if you're in the chat, I want to know which combo you prefer the best. Are you there, Bobby? All right, I'm going to try catching up again, try and see what I can do with the comments in the chat while Bobby gets ready to come in. To be honest, Jude is more technical. Oh, yeah, that's no question.
For sure.
Jude doesn't want to come to Chelsea. That's where, again, I've heard that. But again, a lot of players, we've signed players in the past that don't want to come to us. Let's see. Rice is an alternative signing to make what happen. I want to know. Let's see. Enzo isn't comfortable as a defensive six. Yep. Again, he needs a freedom. He's a deep line playmaker. I think that's a correct term for him. We can get better destroyer for cheaper than Rice. Yeah.
Rice we can get for like 70 million, coach.
Is that cheap?
But today's market, yeah. I mean, listen, 4 or 5 years ago, I was appalled at us spending 30 million for Kante. I was appalled at that. I thought that was incredibly insane. And now look at it. I mean, I'm talking 70 million is cheap now. We're living on a different planet. It's insane.
This guy, this comment. It's not a bad thing to have England players. You know where you put it. We need to be very careful.
No, but you know what though? If we lose like a Mount and a Gallagher, we need to have a minimum of 8.
Yeah, homegrown quota, right?
Yeah. They don't have to be English. They can be as long as
just homegrown quota. But again, Rice counts as homegrown quota. That's just the point. And again, you must meet a certain number. It's not like you just have to have a few. No. Again, Rice should go to Arsenal than Chelsea. The rumors are that he prefers going to Arsenal, but let's see what happens. We need both rows around Enzo. We need both rows. Yeah, there are rumors. Didn't you see that, Rodrigo? Yes.
Apparently he wants to go there. Yeah, I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. But again, let's see what he does. City Group are good in setting up non-existent companies who will come in and sponsor something within the club just to pump in more money. Okay, absolute fraudulent activity. Let's see how the Premier League defines that.
Money washing, yeah.
Yeah, money washing. Yeah, so it's really a very serious offense right now. Santos again might take the Bellingham role. Hence, a destroyer first will be perfect. Rodrigo? Can you talk about Santos? If he's going to be part of the team, and he scored again, right?
Yeah, I've watched all the games. Actually, I stayed up till half 10 to watch Brazil under 20. It's very strange. I've watched all the games, and he's impressed me. What's impressed me the most with Santos is on the pitch. He's a stand-up player. He looks bigger than everyone else. It's like because they're all young, right? They're all like under 20, like 18, 19-year-old
boys.
He's literally standing out. And what one thing he need to improve in his game from the 3 games I watched so far is positional. Sometimes he doesn't.
How old is he?
18 years old.
18. Yeah.
18. Is he 18 really?
Yeah.
So do you think
he's a good DM. He's a DM.
No, here's my point. That positional issue is something again over time.
Experience.
Yes, he'll come out over time.
Yeah, he's still 18. That is very common with young players. You rarely see a player that age that's perfect in that sense.
And one thing I like about his game is he's one of those players that sacrifice themselves for the greater good of the team. You can see him when his teammates make a mistake, he's the first one to go try to tackle, try to break down the play. Obviously, he's a DM, you expect him, but he's playing a double pivot. I don't know who the other guy is, but he stands out the most, and he takes a lot of responsibilities. Obviously, some of the goals, yes, he scored goals, but you look at the goals.
You can see a good leader in him.
He's a good leader. Some of the goals
solid too. He's very physical. He's hard to get off the ball.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed about him.
And he runs. He takes the ball and runs.
Well, he's Brazilian.
So and he's a DM. Let me ask you this: How does he compare to Bellingham? Let's see if it's even necessary.
Bellingham is way advanced. I think for me now,
is it down to experience, or do you think he has the potential to do better?
No. That type of game, Bellingham is more. Bellingham has more technique. He's more. What player can I compare him with? Maybe it's because he's Brazilian. Yeah, I see a young Casemiro in there.
He's got flair.
I see a young Casemiro. I see a young, player like that. I think
but
he's gonna.
You could say. I think he can do more than Casemiro.
Yes.
Without the strangling.
Maybe just.
You know what? He won't be
too soon.
He won't do. I think it's more like the reason I said more like Casemiro at Real Madrid. He sacrificed his game.
Yeah.
For Kroos and Modric.
Yeah.
And Santos has the same thing in his game where he sacrificed his game for the greater good of the team.
Santos is more clinical.
Oh, watch him today. They're playing today at 10:30 UK time, 10:30 p.m. UK time. The games are on YouTube. I watched the game for free. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. In the case of Santos, I think he does a lot more running than Casemiro does, even in his younger days.
I didn't really see Casemiro in his younger days, but
he does a lot. Santos does a lot of more running than Casemiro did even when he was still younger. If that makes sense. But I think he's a good
the ball from centre back
player. I don't think he falls into that category you call a destroyer. He's more of a box-to-box midfielder. Destroyers are usually
he's a
more.
DM. He's a proper DM. He doesn't. He
does more than that.
Yeah, he takes.
It's more of box-to-box to me.
He takes the responsibilities of the team and push them forward. But his starting position, how he is in a team, is a DM.
6. Yeah,
he's a 6.
Okay, we already signed him, and we're capable. We have again in that area. We have players that can help us again with that. Even Kante is back. We play Kante as DM, even though he's traditionally an 8. We have Zakaria if we get to keep him. Should we even be talking about Rice? Because we got him for how much? If you're saying he's a DM.
Honestly, think about this. when you think about what we have on the roster, you know, you're looking at. Let's have a look here. You've got Zakaria, you've got Kovacic, Kante, you've got Enzo, you know, you've got Carney, you know.
Yeah, we shouldn't be spending that much money for that deep lying rows or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I know N'Golo is not going to be here for 5 years, but I believe if he stays healthy, he's still a world-class player. Well, at least I hope he is, you know, and I believe he is because he's so unselfish and his game is so unique. There's not another Kante out there that plays like him. He's like a vacuum cleaner. He just sucks up the ball. So, you know, he's good for 2 or 3 years, hopefully. So maybe in 2 years to 3 years, we can buy a young chap if we need to and groom him. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really make sense to be looking at Jude Bellingham and what's his name, and Declan Rice. The fact is,
well, you know what though?
Yeah.
Do you know who's important in this equation? Is Dennis Zakaria. If he can stay fit, if he plays, if he plays from now to the end of the season and he's fit, doesn't get any more nicks, so to speak, then he's part of the equation. But if we see another 1 or 2 occasions where he's sidelined up to 2 to 3 weeks, then we can't. We just simply cannot rely on him if that's the case. So we perhaps maybe in the market, coach. It all depends. And listen, there's also Conor Gallagher. Assuming we don't sell him,
there is no Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, but go ahead, let him drop Rodrigo. Don't fight him.
It's fine.
Go ahead, Roger. What you were saying?
It's his birthday today, bro. It's his birthday. Be nice. He's 23.
Okay, at least be fair to him on his birthday.
He has potential to it. No. The lip sucking.
No, but that's the truth. He has potential. I think, but I don't think he's a deep line midfielder. And I get Bobby's argument. I don't think at any time be good enough to play from that. If anything, if we want to be truthful, if we're being truthful to ourselves, let's stop again. I get it. He did a good enough job the last time he played there for us, but I don't think he should play that deep.
Player.
No.
And
he
then
needs to be
Carney.
at Everton. We had £45 million on the table.
Well, it's too late now. If you wanted him to leave, too late now.
Yeah.
He's here. Yeah.
We had 40 plus 5 on add-ons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let me see how much I can catch up within the chat. We'll come back and I will look at their numbers. I'll look at Declan Rice's number.
Also, there's Lewis Hall in the equation too. Don't forget him. He's a central midfielder.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's a midfielder by definition.
Yeah, but he's again. I don't think Potter will ever use him there.
No, probably not. But we got Cassidy also.
No, Cassidy is forward. He's the
Italian kid out on loan. Yeah.
Advanced.
Yeah, he's 20 years old.
Yeah, and it's a fine. I don't think we should be spending that much money in that area. It wouldn't make any sort of sense. And here again, a big up Kuchila and the panel. Forget Rice, constantly overworked, constantly overplaying for names. It's not sustainable. And I don't think it makes sense. We're not going to spend for those guys. We have very good destroyers. Havertz amount. The problem is. The problem is I'm not sure if I'm mixing up what you're trying to communicate here. It's the link up. They need to link up with Alba on the bench.
I get it.
No, I get it. Now it makes sense to me. I should have waited to finish that. Juventus wants Kovacic swap for Zakaria. Was it Zakaria they want? Yeah, I've seen that. But I don't think we should give them Kovacic for Zakaria, really.
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Maybe because we have Enzo now, but we need depth. What happens if Enzo isn't playing?
Exactly. Enzo, actually, Kovacic is a perfect Enzo replacement. Because why if Enzo can't play next season? We have all this competition. Enzo can't play every single game. Come on. So I'm quite excited.
Maybe the arrival of Enzo makes Kovacic do even more.
Yes, we need to keep him.
Yeah, we need to keep him. Cheaper, but not profit in future. Goal for Bellingham. He will bring a lot more in the future. So, Bobby, since you're here, your thoughts again. What we're debating who will be a better pairing for Enzo. whether it be Bellingham or Rice. Your thoughts?
Rice.
Why did you choose Rice?
Rice because he would be more solid. Rice wouldn't mind doing the grafting and let Enzo do the playing. Whereas I think it'll be very difficult because Bellingham is so gifted. He could become a grafter, but he wouldn't be able to resist playing playing. And as much as I really like the player and would love to, well, before Enzo, have seen him at Chelsea, I think he and Enzo would actually, they wouldn't complement each other. I could be totally wrong, but that's how it would seem. Isn't it funny? We always have fans that find some of the most bizarre things in their mind to post. Kovacic, get rid of because Kovacic was Zakaria, or absolute nonsense. I just think, what are you talking about? And in my mind, I just think Arsenal fan, a stealth Arsenal fan on the platform, because it just doesn't.
It's nonsensical.
Yeah,
we make our own rumors and we believe in it. That's so funny.
exactly. You've hit the nail on it. We create these silly negative things, and we believe it. Yeah, crazy.
Yep. Former Chelsea player Christian Atsu believed to be one of many buried under the rubble in Turkey after the earthquake. Again, prayers for all. Again, at this point, yep. Prayers for the families of those who have loved ones in that situation. And I'll also add to, as a former Chelsea player, may the soul of the departed already. I hope again. The people have died already, right? From that. May their soul rest in peace. And also
this?
In Turkey. Yeah, in Turkey. Yeah.
Killed over
again, an unfortunate one. A Saturday.
Yesterday as well. Apparently scored in the game yesterday.
Wow.
Brilliant free kick. I saw the highlights.
Who did?
Yeah, a nice free kick.
Christian Atsu.
He's a Ghanaian. Play for us. Went on loan to Newcastle. I don't know his story ended with us.
Yeah, I actually totally forgot about him until this incident. I think. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. Again. Yep.
So what happened to him?
There's an earthquake, and he's believed to be one of those buried under the rubble.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Rubble. Yeah. That earthquake. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's also in Syria too, by the way. It's not just Turkey.
So it crossed borders.
Yeah, it's a 7.8. I've been in the 7.1. It's
really,
yeah.
How is it here, isn't it?
1989 in California. It's unbelievable. A difference between the 7.1 and 7.2 is a base of 10. It's times 10. So I can't imagine the 7.8. I mean, 7.1 was. It's not the actual earthquakes. It's the bad thing. It's the aftershocks for the next 48 hours. They're brutal. We had aftershocks of 5.0 on the Richter scale plus, which is
the earthquake is like next second, isn't it? It's only a few seconds.
Well, it lasts about 12 to 15 seconds. Yeah. You know, which doesn't sound long, but it's an eternity when you're in it. Trust me. I got thrown to my feet as if I got hit by a linebacker. Jesus. But it's the aftershocks that are the worst.
All right, guys, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you're all looking for a destroyer, recall Lukaku, he destroys any hope of winning titles. Yeah, and make sure he destroys the dressing room and everything. Amrabat is not class for Chelsea. It's like, again, for a short time.
Nah.
Wow, people are entitled to their argument.
He's only 26 years old. Amrabat.
Yeah, he's very young too, and he did well. He did well in the World Cup. We can go for Zakaria. I'm not sure again about that. Again, we have to watch him first till the end of the season. If he stays fit, we'll see. Let's see how he does. Chelsea to purchase all City players. Yeah, then after purchasing them, then you become the next City because how much money you've been paying. We can regret for not bringing Tremaine for 30 million 2 years ago because of Marina. Here's the thing, we just move on. He's a Real Madrid player. You can't change that, if that makes any sort of sense. And I'm not sure as to why we didn't bring him in. Are we going to destroy other teams for fun? Like, okay, let's get there first. What else do we have? I'd rather Enzo with Rice. But again, we can get a cheaper option. And what are the cheaper options? I want to know. I prefer a midfield three with Enzo center and who flanking him.
Enzo with Rice sounds like a menu.
I know, right? Like an Italian menu.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Rodrigo. Let's be honest here. Rice plays centrally, right?
Yeah.
And that's the best. Again, he's at his best if you position him centrally, which means if Rice comes in, we're not going to play, which means Enzo goes to the right or to the left of a three-man midfield. And Enzo himself likes to play centrally.
No, Enzo's good on the left because he allows him to ping the ball from the opposite.
But predominantly, he likes to play centrally.
No, we can play both of them in a double pivot. He played that for Benfica.
I'm saying that because of, again, he's Glenn saying with Enzo in the middle. That's why I'm bringing that up. So where do you play Rice?
The flexibility and permutations of playing Enzo with Rice in the midfield is remarkable. It could be a fantasy. They just fit without even playing. You. I mean,
Coach
you
doesn't
don't
like
even
Rice,
think
Bobby.
twice. It's so logical. They fit.
If Yusutan doesn't like, that's how things spill into being hatred.
Does not
I don't prefer Rice.
Yeah,
we have more. Bobby, if you're talking about flexibility, we'd have more flexibility. But go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead.
No, it's just I don't know why every time I hear it from you, it sounds like food. I don't prefer Rice.
He's a pasta man. Coach is a pasta man. He likes pasta.
I like my rice with Enzo.
But if we're talking about flexibility, you get more flexibility when you have Enzo with the right side. Yeah, it's gonna still sound like food.
Rice, fried rice.
You get more flexibility or more taste, if you prefer, when you have again Declan Rice.
Just call him Declan. Seriously, Chad.
You get more flexibility when you pair Declan with what's his name, with Bellingham or somebody like what's his name, Vanessa, who's also a destroyer, but is more technically equipped, so to speak, if that makes sense to you.
And
if you're talking about flexibility,
see how he pivoted to Vanessa? See how he pivoted? Actually, it took you more than a minute to do that, Coach. You're losing it. Usually takes you about 30 seconds.
I had a lamb Rogan Josh with rice last night.
Oh, that's good.
Really nice Indian.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. All right, let me see how much I can get from the chat so we can move on. I prefer, again, that sounds again. Please, guys, keep liking the stream if you haven't, and also do subscribe to the channel. We need just 14 more likes to get it to 100 likes. Let's see if we can do, again, up to 150 at least by the time the show ends. We started late, but we can do well. Zakaria looks promising, so let's keep him. You can't just keep him for, again, how many games has he played? Not up to 5 games, actually. Plus, we have to make sure that he stays fit. Since he's joined us, he's been injured twice, and also he's had fitness issues, if that makes sense. We already have two passion pressing matches running around in our midfield. Okay, we don't need another one. Bring Jude now. Again, I know you and I didn't discuss this, so before the gang starts saying we planned it. Bro, Zakaria is 27 years old. I don't care about his age. Again, we have to mix it up. We don't have to have just 22s, 23s, and 24s.
He's 26 years, 2 months.
And he's actually 26. But experience does go a long way. If Chelsea can get Victor Osimhen, that's all we need. No,
I'm the one that don't watch Osimhen.
I've watched that movie before.
Yeah.
this movie is no different than something similar to part 2 of Lukaku coming, if that makes sense.
Yes.
By
as
the
much
way,
as I,
can I just
yeah,
add this, since we're
yeah,
talking
go ahead.
midfield? I followed yours and Roger's example, and I watched the Chelsea Fulham game again, and I gave particular attention to Gallagher.
Yeah,
Now,
so
I
did
know
I.
people are going to say that I'm now Gallagher's lawyer,
He played
but
well.
he didn't do badly in midfield, did he? I mean,
And
he was
that
quite
cross,
good.
the cross to Fofana
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
was
Again, he
beautiful.
did not good enough job to complement Eze to an acceptable measure. But that's
Yeah.
my argument is that's not
I
his
think
best position.
I think that's the word, to an acceptable measure. However, I am convinced after watching that game that that should be his new role. He needs to rehearse
Same
it
here.
more, and
Yeah.
he'll become quite good at it. Because of the way he plays, he shouldn't be further up the field. He's not technical enough, but he has just about enough technicality to be in the middle of the park, and he is that destroyer. So
Yeah.
I'm all for giving.
And he can score goals too. He scored 8
Yes,
for Palace.
Okay,
yes, he
let
can,
this go.
and he shoots from outside the
Mute them.
box.
Mute
Do
them.
you know where he played for
Mute
Palace?
them. Mute
Yeah.
Mute them.
No, coach.
Rodney,
No,
yeah,
here's
that's
the thing.
Let
funny.
me just land
Here-
with this. Let
yeah,
me
go
just
ahead, go ahead. I'll let you land.
the two shots we had from outside the box came from our two new midfielders,
Yep.
Gallagher and Enzo. So I'm all for this. Really, I'm so sold into this. It's remarkable. I'm as sold into it as I am, Mr. Potter. Please, please put our dear friend Havertz on the bench against West Ham and play Datro Fofana. That is how much I am so into this Gallagher in the
And
midfield, at
Madueke
least until
instead
we
of
get Rice.
Ziyech. And Madueke instead of Ziyech.
Here's the thing. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
oh,
this.
definitely.
As much as I don't think I don't think Gallagher is a bad player. I think he has a lot to learn. Again, he's still young and can become even better. Playing him deep, he doesn't have a chance there. Even if in fact there's again you feel like that's his best position, he doesn't have a chance there at Chelsea. Look at if you want him to do well, and the
What
best
makes
game
you
he's
say
played.
that?
Let
What
me
makes you say
let me
that?
drop. Then you get to know whether I missed anything.
Sure.
If you watch them since he returned to Chelsea, the best game he's played for us was one he played as one of the 2-8s.
Wolves game.
Wolves game. Yeah, of course you knew I was going to go to that.
Yeah.
He was effective, and he's play. And every time he plays there, he has an eye for goals. He has eyes for goal. And I'm like, I'm saying the truth.
And he was
And if you
effective
see,
in Fulham.
he did quite well during his time at Crystal Palace because he played on you could say literally on the flanks, all game in, game out. If you try to think he has a place in that deep line midfield role, or again, but that wasn't what he played against Fulham. He played as an 8, actually.
Second half, he did drop deep.
Yeah, but he dropped it to complement Enzo.
Because of
But my argument comes down to he shouldn't come anywhere near the deep line role because he will struggle, especially for positions press him deep. He's not the best dribbler in the team, if that makes sense to you.
But he's a good
He will
tackler.
lose.
And he's a good presser.
Yeah, but again, that's not really. You should have more than that to be able to be a deep line player again in the team, especially.
I know
Roger,
what you're talking about,
to that
beating
argument.
the press, right? I understand that. But why I feel, and I know this can go on forever and forever, and it's subjective, and only time will tell. But why I feel he's adaptable was, there's certain things a player will do that you can say, right, the potential is there. Like, Fofana came in, you saw his hustling, his hunger, the fierce way with which he was taking shots, unlike Havertz that always tries to be cute and clever and ends up missing the flipping thing. He's a natural goal scorer, or at least the ability to score goals. And he encouraged you to give him a chance. Now, nobody really noticed this. Maybe it's just in the flow of the game, many things happen. And perhaps the only thing you might notice is a nasty foul or a good goal. But there was a particular move in the middle of the park where they were trying to press Gallagher. And this reminded me of some of these really good ball players. He moved with his body in one direction and then changed to the other direction. And the two guys that came to press him were completely fooled, and they overran him, and he beat them. So he can beat the press, maybe not as eye-catching or as eloquently as somebody like Kovacic, who clearly is a master on the ball, or indeed Kante. But I just think there's enough there. I know he's not the finished article, but why I really like
In
Gallagher
time.
is that desire, that endeavor, that love for the club. We can't but use that. It's healthy. Do you see what I'm saying?
Let me say this. I get your argument, but if you really want him to progress, just don't suggest we try to develop him into that player in that position. We have lots of specialized players there. He should continue with the position he played for Crystal Palace and continue to develop, which is an 8. I think he's good. He's actually he's better than most people give him credit for. But the more you play him, he's not going to have the luxury. We don't have the luxury to give him that opportunity. Continue giving him opportunity in that central area that you talked about. Again, deeper area.
Go ahead. Why I say this is that I requote when Mourinho spoke to Mikel, and he said, "Son, you ain't never gonna get a chance here as a number 10. We've got, I think then we had people like Deco and, you name it. We had it back then. I can't remember off the top of my head. There was Ida Gudjonsson. There was some fantastic players.
Ballack was there.
Yeah, Ballack came a bit later, but he also came in the end. So it was an impossible thing. And he said, look, take this CDM and make it your own. And he did that. Why I say that about Gallagher is that, yes, he's good at a number 8. And no doubt from time to time in his Chelsea career, he'll be asked to go and play that again. But I can't see it. We've got Nkunku coming. Hopefully we keep João Felix. Hopefully we get Mason Mount to sign his contract. We've got permutations there with better players. And I think it's a huge leap for him to go in that position. And he will spend an awful lot of time on the bench if that's the only place he plays. Whereas if he's deeper lying in midfield, which, mind you, gives him the opportunity to go forward, because even though he played a little further forward than Enzo, but he interchanged a lot. That's another thing I noticed. He was up and down, and he was defending quite a bit. And if he masters or gets himself recognized in that position, even with people like Kante and Kovacic coming back, and even if we get Declan Rice, he's part of the rotation in that position. And he's also in that position such that he can play with anybody. That's just the point I'm making.
Also.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And
we need a deep squad. We need a squad. Listen, Enzo cannot play 60, 63 games a year. Just cannot. You should limit players to about 40, 45 max.
If Enzo isn't playing.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
I'm saying, if you're saying that, it sounds as if, if Enzo isn't playing, he gets a chance to play. I don't think so.
I'm talking about all players.
But if we're keeping it to Gallagher, Bobby has made the argument that in the number 8 position, he doesn't have a space. You can argue the same thing for that deep lying position too, if that makes sense. But go ahead with what you're saying. I want to get Rodrigo's start once you're done. Yeah, go ahead.
You can't just have starters. You can't just have Kante. Look at Kante. He has to be man-managed. He has to play on the average once a week or up to 70 minutes. You're going to need someone to come in, or even after 60 minutes, that has this energy and ability to tackle, and it comes with experience. He's going to get better. He's 23 today. Come on. It's like, You all of those things. You've got Kante, Enzo, let's say Santos, whoever, Kova, that they can't play for 90 minutes every single game. You have to have at least 2 to 2.5 players for each position.
All
Because
right.
you're going to have, and you're going to have injuries also, in case you
Yeah.
hadn't noticed.
Suspensions.
Yeah, exactly. Coach, you've got to look at the big picture. I'm just
No,
kidding.
I'm
you.
looking at this big picture.
I'm
If we're
just
being
joking.
honest,
I'm just kidding you.
we've talked about this. So everybody, you, I'm sure we'll listen to everybody's argument argument regarding Gallagher, where he gets a chance to play more. I don't think it's a deep line area, but less position area. We'll see what happens. The future, again, it's not far away. The season is on.
You know what? Yeah, the season starts against West Ham for all intents and purposes with João Felix returning.
You know, on this platform, all of you, I have criticized Gallagher heavily.
No, it's not about criticism,
No,
Bobby.
no,
I'm
just making a
go ahead.
point. I'm making a point. I have criticized Gallagher heavily. I've really pointed out things about his flaws and so on, as with Mount, as with Havertz. However, having watched that game again, I really reversed my position and enforced my position of a positional change for Gallagher. Honestly, we will not regret it. It takes quite a clever coach to do that. And I can assure you, Gallagher will get so good at that position that not only will he be a nailed-on person that Chelsea will rely on, his England career will be established by that as well. Honestly, I have that much belief in doing that in him, and I would love to see it happen. Let's wait and see. But we will regret it if we don't.
Rodrigo, tackle this comment on the screen. Then you go ahead and talk about Gallagher.
Yeah, just a quick thing. When Bobby can really convince someone. I was sitting here,
very eloquent way of speaking.
Really thinking, get Gallagher out.
Factual though.
Listening to what Bobby's saying, and when I put my logical hat on, and I'm looking at players around. Do you remember Jordan Henderson?
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Rodrigo, don't do that to me. Don't leave me isolated on this panel. Don't do that, Rodrigo. But go ahead.
So let him land.
Yeah, you remember Jordan Henderson at Sunderland?
Yeah,
is your Gallagher.
Exactly.
He's a guy that goes running around, putting tackles, working hard,
and he can pass.
When he went to Liverpool, they hated him. Guess what Klopp did? He molded him to be a bit deeper, to be more measured in his approach. I can see there are elements in Gallagher's game, right?
Yeah. And watch his passes too; they were good.
Let's let him drop. Let me see whether he's joined the gang or whether he's supporting me. Let him drop.
Yeah,
sorry, I really have
game.
to. And these players are not the stars, but they make the stars.
There are elements in his game.
That's the truth. That's fine. I'm not arguing against that. I'm arguing where he gets the chance to continue his development. I don't think it's that deep lying area. That's the most important position for Potter, especially right now. That was a makeshift midfield, actually. Even though whenever he plays deep, it's usually in cases where we have one player out or that, and it wouldn't help him. Yeah, but it won't help him because the chances won't come very often. But go ahead with what you were saying, Rodrigo.
Gallagher need a real coach, someone that can understand his attribute. You look at when you look at play, we need to look at what are Gallagher's attribute. Gallagher has the energy. He's all right tackling. He has good passes at times, like the pass to Fofana. That was brilliant off the top.
Yep.
So you can mold a player like that to play as a CM, as a central midfielder, or as a right-sided in a 4-3-3.
Mm-hmm.
To play him in a double pivot, I still think he need a lot of guidance to play in a double pivot. He needs someone.
Yeah.
He needs someone that can guide him.
He doesn't read the game quite well. That's not his thing, and that takes it would take a lot of games for him to start develop that IQ of reading the game.
Where I agree with Bobby is because in advanced roles we have so many players. If I'm Gallagher and I see what this Chelsea, because Gallagher is like he's basically he's like he can mold his career into anything. So when I'm looking at this Chelsea team and I really, really want to make it at Chelsea, and I look at Chelsea and I'm thinking, Chelsea don't really have a player that has defensive attributes in those deep roles. Maybe if I polish my game, I'll get more chance than me trying to fight with Mason Mount, trying to fight with Felix, and Kunku, all these big names. If I really polish my game, and ask the manager for guidance where I feel I'm stuck, I can make my name in those deep roles. Trust me, if Gallagher really, really improves and he becomes this amazing destroyer, I think the club will keep him. But as of right now, when I watch his game, I'm not confident having him in those deeper roles. But for him, Gallagher himself, I feel like it's a good thing for him to consider playing in those deep roles. I wouldn't be comfortable having him there now. Like in the next game at West Ham, I wouldn't play him there. But I see in the future maybe he need to really think about his Chelsea career. If you really want to make it here, maybe playing in the 10 or advanced roles is not for him. There's too many players, too many better players in those positions, but we don't have enough in defensive phases, and he has the attribute to play there.
Can you count how many players that we have that are capable of playing in that deep, executing deep lying roles?
No one.
Count those injuries. Can you count them?
With the energy of Gallagher, because Kante's injury prone and all that. But with the energy of Gallagher, with the is because what you get with Gallagher playing him deep, he still has those instincts when he get closer to the box. He can shoot. He can do that, but coach, I'm trying to.
No, I'm laughing because of what the beautiful game just said. The last thing he had in the chat. No, this one is different. There's another one. There's another one in the last comment in the chat. But Taisi, again, unfortunately, you've joined the gang. I'm isolated, but I'll be all right. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah, I'll just finish on this. I'll say, yes, I will. I understand what Bobby was saying. I think for Gallagher himself, if I am Gallagher, this is what I will do. I will consider changing my game, try to get more help from coaches, try to just develop my game to be better in those defensive areas. Forget playing up further up. It's not going to happen at Chelsea. Unless he has ambition of leaving.
I think just the last thing I'll say on this topic, if I may.
Yeah,
I hope Claude Makelele is still at the club. I think he is.
He is.
Yeah, he is. If he had left, would know by now.
Yeah, he is. Claude is somebody Gallagher could not only learn from, but should talk to. Because if you know the story of Claude Makelele, he became the player he was by default. His youth club in France always tried to use him in central midfield as a kind of remake of Jean Tigana. And Jean Tigana, those of you that are old enough to remember this guy, was a very small but diminutive midfielder in France. He played in the national team alongside the likes of Platini, Six, that great French side in the 1980s that lifted the European Cup in 1984 and did so well in World Cups. And Tigana was very much a part of that. But Tigana was unusual in midfield because of his size. He was a very tiny, slight guy. But his passing was excellent, his tackling was excellent, and his ball control was second to none. Now, they kind of tried to make that of Makelele, but Makelele did not quite have the level of technical skills as Tigana, although he was small and diminutive, but he had the strength. Then I forgot who took him to Real Madrid. Was it who took him to Madrid?
Bosque before Del Bosque.
I think him. But that old guy, that
the Champions League, right?
Yeah, that old guy. I've forgotten his name.
Vincente Del Bosque.
It is Del Bosque.
Yeah, he brought him to Real Madrid, and the fans hated him because Del Bosque looked at this guy and said, "Look, you're going to be deep lying. You're my destroyer." And he was making people like Zidane and in those days Uero and that striker they had, that famous striker, I've forgotten his name now. He was making them really shine because he was breaking up play, winning the ball, keeping it simple, passing it forward, passing it. So you couldn't really penetrate Real Madrid, as expansive and as attacking as they were. People never really understood why he couldn't be. They couldn't concede more than they did, and the fans, being Real Madrid fans in the Bernabeu, used to wonder, "Oh, what are we doing with this guy on the? What does this guy really give us?" So they clamored and clamored, and the club eventually got rid of him. And you know what? They regretted it. Their loss was Chelsea's gain. I think I really wish. I don't know if it's this is going to happen, but I really wish at this second phase, and I'll call it a second phase of Conor Gallagher's career, he picks up the mantle of that. Even if he looks at what happened, the story of Jordan Henderson, he is that type of player, and I think he'll be so successful. He will make his name.
He's a better passer than Henderson.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, he'll make his name in
Oh,
and
no.
his craft.
Come on, Roger, you didn't just say that.
He'll make his
Chelsea
name
fan.
and his craft if he changes. Sometimes you can have a gift and you don't even know it, and you waste your time looking to express it in a way that wasn't it wasn't God given for you to express it.
By the
But
way,
once you find your lane and you become the best in your lane, you go straight to the top. That's Conor Gallagher.
Makelele is the technical mentor at Chelsea still.
He
He
should
has
go
it
and
there.
talk to him. He should meet him.
Like I said, if he had left the club, would know by now. It's a high profile again. In his high profile, let me just put it that
He's
way.
probably working with him already,
Yeah.
just to prove coach wrong.
Do you think Gallagher has that in him, or do you think he need a coach to
Yeah,
identify that and talk to him and tell him, listen, this
he's
is
a
what I see your future at
self-motivated
this club.
individual.
Yes, then overall, I think Rodrigo. I think I agree with you. He needs a lot of coaching, whatever direction position he decides. We don't want to see another Mason Mount situation. He has the chance now. He needs again because Mason Mount is very difficult because it's a chance he feels like he's won the Champions League, Club World Cup, and all this thing. There's nothing he can teach him he doesn't already know. I don't know if you know where that argument is coming from.
Oh, so now you're so he's going to become player of the year for us. Okay, good. That's a good thing.
So,
guys,
my point is,
players.
I'm joking.
Any player who has won the Champions League and is living on that at Chelsea should get out of the club. There are geezers in Man United at the moment that came from Real Madrid and they've won 5 Champions Leagues. So I'm not having that from any of them.
I'm just saying it's a human thing and it happens.
Complacency.
Exactly. Complacency does happen again, and plus,
human nature.
But I don't want to. Let me not bring Mason Mount into this case. What my point is,
Look,
Gallagher needs a lot of coaching.
Listen to Pep, coach. He admits it that his team is complacent because they're after winning so much. He said so in an interview, in a press conference.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah,
and that's dangerous.
It's human nature, coach.
Yeah, once you feel like you've arrived, sometimes you stop learning because you feel like you know everything. Anybody tells you is new to you. I am worried about next season. Tell us why you're worried. Mount destroys our offense. We're not here to talk about him. Flick to Chelsea. We'll talk about that in a bit. Again, keep Zakaria. Yeah, I get the argument, but we have to be sure of what we're buying. And right now, there's no clarity whether it'd be a good idea to keep him. We don't have enough sample size, if that makes any sort of sense to you. Let's see what else we have here. Again, I agree with Roger. Zakaria is part of the solution.
Checks in the mail.
Maybe to the end of the season, but we still have to assess him to see if he stays fit or not. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too, man. I hope you're doing well. You know what to do. I don't have to remind you anymore. But come on, people. Let's keep liking the stream. 6 more to get it to 100. Let's get it to 150 at least by the time the show ends. I know the transfer window is short. Probably not a lot of people. Again, come on. Yep, let's do that. Cover for Zakaria. Did Juventus lose the screw? Maybe they did. I would never do that. As much as I know that Zakaria is more defensively, again, will contribute more defensively, I don't think we should exchange him for cover. And I don't think the club would do that because cover, when he recovers fully, he will be, again, an excellent tool in the hands of Graham Potter, given the way he likes to approach the game. I would prefer to give the Pulisic or Havertz. They wanted Pulisic. Maybe they've changed their mind. Yes, people keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We need, again, just 6 more likes to get it to 100 likes. I'm going to scroll past quite a few because we don't have too much time. Fans guilty for Graham Potter crash under pressure before he came at Chelsea. Okay. If Pep leaves a City, how fast would you pick him up? There's a chance, actually, again, why I wouldn't rush Pep. That's a chance he may have been figured out. And he's just finding a way to say, yeah, it's complacency. Yeah, there's a chance.
I'm not sure about that. I've watched their games.
I'm just saying, I said there's a chance. And here's the thing. The truth about Man City, they're predictable.
Yeah.
No matter how
you
you
see
see
that
them.
about every team.
No, not every team. No.
Yes, you can.
No, not every. You can't say that every team. Manchester United and Ten Hag's team are never predictable. Klopp's teams are very predictable, and you know why. I can still say it's about pressing. That high line will always be there, so you're better prepared to deal with them. Man City, tell me what else they do beyond
beyond dominating a game.
Yeah,
beyond making penetrating passes and scoring
and draining the life out of the opponent.
Yeah, but death by 1,000 passes.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, here's the thing.
They've won 4 out of 5 bloody Premier Leagues. Yeah, they're predictably winners, yes.
Okay, fine. You win. Rodrigo, do you think they're predictable?
They
break down teams, coach. They're
I get it. Yeah, they're well drilled, technically gifted.
Yeah,
you know what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
yes. The they're so well drilled. You know what they're gonna do, but they're difficult to stop.
Sure.
And if you do your homework well, you get a win or even get a draw. But go ahead, Rodrigo. Ask the question. Let me see what I get from you. I want to know if you have really joined the gang.
I think they are predictable. I think they are predictable.
Yeah, they're predictably excellent in every
they are
every
excellent because Pep is an amazing coach, but like
in terms of what they do, they're predictable.
They are like people
you
like
can say that about
coaches
everyone, coach. In this context you're using, you can say that. I'm sorry, that's a very broad statement, coach. It's not that it's listen. I digress.
No, go ahead. That's why we're here. That's why we have a show. Maybe there's something I will learn from you.
Because what they do is their shall we say their B team could probably end up in the top 4 alone, or at least the top 6 team if they were its own commodity. They press very well. And they press with technical ability. They cross. Now, yes, they've got an actual prototypical number 9, but historically they haven't used that because they're so interchangeable. They can score outside the box. They can break down a team with one-touch passing. If you want to call that predictable,
so you don't think? No, there's
I don't know what to tell you.
That are very predictable.
They defend well. They usually have the number 1 or number 2 or tied for number 1 or 2 defense. They're very good passing from the back. Listen, what they do, they're superfluous. They're excellent in everything they do. You know, and if you want to say that's predictable, sure. Brazil is predictable. They have so much individual flair. They will dribble past you. That's predictable. Okay.
I don't think I'm able to get my point across the way you understand it.
Well, but because in the context of
you're telling me knowing that Man City would want to keep the ball, stave you off the ball, that's not predictable, which makes a team like Antonio Conte would come, for instance, or any counter-attacking team will know, okay, they're going to keep the ball. That's what they do. What we do, let them keep the ball, come at us, and we'll try to hit them on a break. Isn't that predictable? Something that you can predict?
So listen, this is a game of matchups, as they say. There are certain teams that are a bogey team to another team. They've played there 5 times now at Spurs. I'm
No.
talking about.
I'm not even
And
referencing the game yesterday.
you said Kante.
The last
You
game
said
that
Kante. You did
let me
reference
come in.
them.
That game the last game that Tottenham beat them, Tottenham actually played well. They
Yes.
didn't just defend deep and suck it all off.
Yeah,
They
coach.
attacked them.
Coach.
But I just use that as an example. Again,
Yes, but it's a bad example because they've never even scored a goal in the last 5 visits at that new stadium. They've never won a point. They've lost. So that's the exception to the rule because guess what? They've won 4 out of the last 5 Premier Leagues. So they are able to break down teams in the low block because virtually every team, when I say virtually, let's say 90-95% of the teams that they play don't go at them. They play rope-a-dope. It's simple.
Is that predictable that every team don't go at them?
Because they don't have the ability to go one-on-one. It's like me in the ring.
Roger, I get your argument. Let's get what we have in the chat so we don't round up prematurely because there are other topics I want us to talk about, if you don't mind. But it's always, again, like I said, that's why it's a debate. And that's why we have a show. And that's why you enjoy it. I enjoy it. There's always something to learn. But I think we have to do this on soccer perspective, whether Man City are predictable or not.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, we have to do that. It's something, it's interesting, really. And again,
actually,
that's what,
they are predictable and unpredictable at the same time. They are predictable in the structure, the way Pep always approach games. That's predictable. But they're unpredictable in the way Pep individual players do things on the pitch where Pep allows them to do that in certain zones.
They're also unpredictable in terms of their chance creation is the first
Yeah. That's where the unpredictability comes in. Because Pep allows them freedom in certain zone of the pitch. But from the start, how exactly Pep team approaches games. That's where predictability comes in.
And their thing is keeping the ball.
Yes.
If they're not able to keep the ball, they're not going to play well.
Yeah.
So we'll do this. This is a delicious topic, really. And I'm going to get me a guy.
Do it when Pep signed for us. Do it when Pep.
Hey,
Here we go.
That's under the assumption that Potter no longer works here.
But it's not going to happen, really.
In my head, Potter is not Chelsea manager. I told you, since December.
Denial is not a river in Egypt.
Oh.
All right, let me catch up with the chat. I'm going to scroll down to quite a few. Again, I'll get quite a few here. Todd Bowley will approach him within 24 hours. Yeah, I don't think that will happen because it will cost them a lot. And money you spend as payoff counts also as money you spent in total. It adds to it. So that will heighten it. Again, probably going to we may actually get into trouble with FFP because it will take a lot to pay him off. Again, let me see what else do we have here. Again, everyone pray for Atsu and the orders are trapped in the situation. Okay, so he's still alive. Okay, that's what you sound like. I hope he's still alive. Again, I hope a lot of people on there, all of them, if possible, are still alive. Yes, again, it was on the border between Turkey and Syria. Wow. Natural disaster.
They're showing pictures on the BBC and Sky of remember the Twin Towers, the 9/11. They're showing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, they're showing buildings like in Turkey where they're just collapsing like this, like a deck of cards. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Prayers and thoughts with the Turkish people and the Syrian people, all those affected.
Indeed,
it's funny seeing Juventus demanding stuff like cover for Zakaria. How about you sort out yourself first? Yeah. Maybe I would say if they want anything, let them give us Vlahovic. Maybe we'll start talking. Rice and Enzo. Again, no, bro. It's on center and central attacking midfielder. Okay. Stanislav again. Lobotka has a very good center of gravity, a better midfielder for me. Okay. Again, there's a reason why Rice is considered a side dish. And need I say more? No, you don't have to. And I'm not going to read such comments again because I want to go to heaven. If that
well
makes
done,
sense.
sir. Well done.
Yeah, Enzo can be on the left. Rodrigo Mount is again. It's always there. It's bad. I love Mount. Rodrigo, did you hear that?
No, I mean, oh, it's okay.
Look what it's, yeah, cannot be on the left.
Oh,
They are smart.
man
They are
was
smothering
hugging
Mount.
Modric.
Yeah.
Man
Yeah,
was
smothering
hugging
Mount for
Modric,
that.
hugging Modric, hugging Cucurella, hugging everyone on the left.
Here's the thing. I think in the process of
Money
trying to,
Maze.
in the process of trying to implement a hybrid approach, there was so much confusion on the pitch on the day.
Yeah, he's a mess.
Yeah. Hi, Coach. Hi to you, Lolo, my Barcelona friend. I hope you're doing well. Let's see what we have here. So, get Rice. We got the spicy curry in Enzo. We need the headless chicken okay to make it a complete dish, right?
Yeah.
Jude is the gravy. Let's have it right. But a lot of people, again, maybe my argument didn't come across well. I think he can still do a lot defensively in terms of protecting the defense. And then we'll have a more fluid. We'll have a more fluid. Yeah? No, I know Rice can do better than him in terms of protecting the defense. But with Jude, pairing of Jude and Enzo in a double pivot, we have a more, you could say, versatile, a more again fluid, again a more fluid midfield, if that makes sense, or two sixes, if that's what you prefer to hear. I saw England with Rice. That's embarrassing. Okay, here's the link to jump on YouTube channel. Please go and support him. Some good cause there. Again, he's doing quite a good job there, helping the youth in Jamaica. Play football and not do all that stuff that you could say not acceptable in the society. So yeah, I think he's doing a good job, and I promise him I'm going to support him, and I will do that when time allows. I'll reach out to him and see how I can help. Please, guys, again, your subscription is greatly appreciated. Here's the link again, and also go follow Chelsea Perspective on Twitter. And I don't know if the panelists here are using their Twitters as their handles, so that I'll let it show in a bit, so you can go check it out. Let's see what else we have. Vadio in the summer, I don't think we'll be paying that much money for a defender. It wouldn't make any sort of sense. Levi Cowell has shown he's good enough. And they're both the same age, actually. And you could say he's done it in the Premier League. That unfortunate injury will probably be a serious setback. I hope not, but let's see what happens. Please buy Bellingham before Madrid. Make it your next objective. I know you can. Lola doesn't just want Madrid to get them, because they'll be better in the midfield area than Barcelona. Roger, were you saying something?
Yeah, I'm sorry. How bad is the injury?
They say 4 weeks out?
I heard 6 weeks. What is it? Is it an ankle?
Is it just if it is 6 weeks? Then I think he'd be okay if he comes back.
What was the actual injury, if I may ask?
I don't know. Ankle. I hope it's not.
All I heard was 6 weeks. I don't know what the injury
specifics is. Liverpool will.
Okay, while he's trying to get that information, Coach Osimhen is Werner upgrade. I have that a special eye for players. That are game changes. And Tune, I always like the contributions.
Muscular injury. Muscular injury training. He says
muscular.
Yeah, muscular injury.
Can you try? Don't use medical terms. Does that mean he has a muscle injury?
Yes.
Yeah, please simplify it.
4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks.
So 2 weeks it's gone already.
Yeah, it was on the.
So 2 to 4 left.
Yeah, about 3 weeks gone already. Actually, or is it just 2? I don't know.
From January, that's when it was reported.
It's good insight from you. So I want to get your thoughts. If you're saying Bellingham
the manager said is an important injury. An important injury. What the hell?
What does that mean?
That's what deserved.
That is so vague. That is so vague.
Probably because English isn't his first language.
Maybe it's bad. Maybe
it's Italian, right?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He's the same manager that has coached Mudryk in.
In Shakhtar. Yeah, he said if Mudryk doesn't go to the top, he would have considered he would consider himself as a failure of a manager.
Yeah,
he's a serious motivator. The way I hear he speaks to players, and he has good relationship with players. So, Chun, I'm waiting to hear from you why you don't think Bellingham is a man. Gallagher is not starting in this club. Oh, well, to see him start again, if that hurts you, then you're in trouble. Gallagher is a
Watch
player
this
for Palace.
channel.
Just Lingard. I heard again about Coach Nemflip again. That might lead us. I'm not sure. Something is missing there. Okay, so as for Gallagher, game about a Stamford Bridge Gallagher. Oh, I want to go to heaven. Please just don't drag me into that. Havertz and Mount shouldn't be playing the next game if Potter values his job. Like I said, Potter, again, a lot of people are saying Potter is going to be the one to get himself fired, if that makes any sort of sense. Shaq, players like Gallagher needs a freedom to roam. He has no discipline to stay in one position. That's a good observation, actually. Yeah, that's a good observation.
Comes with experience, coach. He's 23.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. That comes with experience. But is he going to have, again, we'll get to that argument another day. I think there's no space for him in that deep lying role, but I get it. There's no reason to start David Datro Fofana or Benoit Badiashile against West Ham. What? Really? Paulito, can you explain further? We need to play the lineup who will play against BVB. Oh, what? To get some continuity. I'm coming. Since this is the last match before then. I hate to say that. I think, but the Chile will not play
4 days later.
League. Yeah, but the Chile will not play in the Champions League. So it makes sense. Datro Fofana will not play in the Champions League. It makes sense too. Give those that will play in the Champions League game because they probably match rusty. If that makes sense.
That's what I said about Koulibaly. He needs to get at least 30 to 60 minutes instead of Badiashile or actually, what's it called? Or Silva. Because Silva needs a bit of a rest. He can't play 2 games in 4 days fully. So I don't think Silva starts or he doesn't at least finish the game versus West Ham.
Yeah, again, I'm going to try to get as much as I can, but I don't think I can get too many here. Again, in May last year, Pep Guardiola said he'll leave the club if Man City ever lied to him. People know how to dig up stuff.
It's true, though.
Oh, my goodness. Today, they have been charged by the Premier League over breaking financial rules across 9 seasons. Here's the thing. You sound like a journalist yourself, the way you presented it. Here's the thing. They said to him, we didn't do anything wrong. It's just witch hunt. They can convince him otherwise. Correct me if I'm wrong, Roger.
Of course.
They can say, look.
Of course, that's the approach they're going to take. You know, they're not going to admit their guilt. That'll be suicide. You know, but you're talking about over basically a decade. You're looking at over 100 counts of regulation that have been, shall we say, overlooked. That's unacceptable. I mean, you know, I can foresee maybe half a dozen to a dozen over a decade. That's still bad, but over 100.
Yeah. Do you know what I feel sorry for? Or I don't really, but Liverpool. Imagine Liverpool have been chasing Man City, hoping they can get a little bit of an advantage. And guess who get all of that? Arsenal. Because imagine when Liverpool in a title race and this sort of news where City's dressing room is not stable, the manager's not happy. Imagine how happy Liverpool would have been back then when they were chasing them. Everything was perfect. But now with Arsenal, it looks like everything is falling into place for Arsenal to win this league.
Yeah, well, that you do need luck to win.
If they did points from Man City, Arsenal will most likely win it.
Well, it's not going to happen this year. Most of the experts...
Yeah, probably like next season.
Yeah, because they will drag it on. They have money to hire the best lawyers in the UK.
A dream team.
They would
They're
drag it on the
dream team.
Sorry?
They're going to hire a dream team of lawyers.
Oh, yeah. In this sort of situation, they'll have more than 10 lawyers at the same time. If that makes sense. Again, let's see what else I can get. Can we talk about the contract for Thiago Silva? I think it's going to happen. Even was it 3 days ago?
Whether they deduct points or not, this sort of thing causes so much psychological, disruption that I can't see City mounting a comeback this year.
Yeah, I agree.
I really think Arsenal will win it this year. It just has that feel about it.
It does,
And we've
doesn't
got to
it?
sit down and tolerate those
of all the
smug
teams.
idiots.
Yeah,
God, their fans, honestly,
Everything has fallen into place for them, Bobby.
they are
everything.
they are detestable. You listen
I've
to
always
them.
said they're gonna
Oh
win
my
it.
God!
I've always said they're gonna win it, but I'm changing my mind.
Bobby, don't hold back. Tell me how you really think.
They're not gonna win it. I
They're
I
awful.
don't think Arsenal wins it. But
Well,
they will
Really?
make it. They will stay. They remain in the top four. Yeah,
it
they're
will
not
take
gonna win
them.
it. Yeah.
No, I can't see it. I mean, I
Okay.
don't want them to win it, coach, but I'm
But they
realistic.
will not. Just remember, I told you that they will not. Really.
They haven't had any serious injuries either. I mean, they've had a bit here and there, but they haven't been decimated. They have very little depth, so anything can happen if they run through a spate of injuries. You know, and I don't wish that on anyone. I'm just being realistic. Then they're in trouble. They will drop points like flies. You know.
I tell you, if they win the league, their fans are going to be unbearable for the
Yeah,
next 10 years. They are, oh gosh.
yeah, but what else can they win?
Oh, I'm telling you, the thing is that they are a good club. They're well run. They have got good history, but it's I think the reason I hate Arsenal is the Vans.
Yeah.
Honestly, honestly.
I say the same about United also.
Oh gosh. I don't know. United don't get my goat like Arsenal.
Oh, they do.
Arsenal and Liverpool. Oh gosh.
Oh,
I can't
no, I
stand
actually
them.
prefer. No, actually, it's United for me over Liverpool.
Oh, and another reason I can't stand Liverpool is I've got stitches on my head from going to Anfield. So last
Oh,
time I went there, they attacked
yeah.
me. That's scum.
I get this from
Sorry.
June. Even Kovacic could be more interesting if a damn attacking line becomes effective. Yep, I think he could do well. And that makes some sense there. Gallagher is a good player. The issue here is Chelsea seem not balanced. He really works hard. Yeah, with that managers value that quite a lot. Thank God we're getting who? You mean Osimhen? I don't know. We're not getting him. Just call it rumors at this point. If anything, Man United are more serious than we are. And nothing more. Let's see what we have. Thank God we're getting Victor Osimhen. I suspected that was the name you wanted to mention. Coach, save yourself. It's too late for Rodrigo. The birthday boy is it's a passion merchant. Passion does go a long way for you in whatever you do in life. Indeed,
Meaning
but
Gallagher,
I get
yeah.
yeah, I get where the argument is coming. Gallagher need another loan spell. I
No,
don't think he needs another loan spell. He'd rather
selling.
leave
He
this
won't come
club.
back. He
Yeah, he
won't
will
come
not
back.
come back.
Selling.
Yeah,
Loan is
if
too
you
much.
yeah,
Selling.
if you really want to keep him, keep him. If you want to sell him, if you don't, if you want to, if you don't, if it's again, if he has no place in the team, just sell him. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, coach, I looked at the stats. He had 8 goals, 3 assists, and 2 assists in cup games. So 8 goals and 5 assists throughout the year. That's pretty good.
So
for
you
a
want to make him a
midfielder.
cup merchant now?
No, I'm just saying that's pretty good output, coach, considering he
No,
wasn't a penalty taker.
yeah. Here's the thing. At Crystal Palace, he was excellent, but unfortunately, that area at Chelsea, no space. The question is, where does he really fit?
Well, we're
That's
not
where
playing well.
I just don't want us to be selfish
Sure, but look, it's
and
not just
end
him;
up
it's the
again.
whole team,
Yeah,
coach. We're not playing well in virtually all areas of the pitch, apart from occasionally the back line has been quite good and the keeper's been quite good. Other than that, we've been poor all year. So we can say that across the board for the most part. In fact, if it wasn't for Silva, you can say we've been poor in many aspects. And yes, some of it has to do with injuries. I get it, but
Mhm.
do you see where I'm coming from? I guarantee you, if this team was clicking and playing well, you would probably see less detractors from him because he would fit in more. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. No wonder where I learned because I started asking myself, when did I start saying if that makes sense? It was from you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's by the way.
I want fees for that, please.
Yeah,
You have
Royalties.
enough from Potter. You want more
Gallagher
money?
is
Doesn't Potter pay you enough?
quite a lot of money. Yeah, Gallagher is too slow. If anything, Gallagher is actually too much in a hurry. He needs to slow down a
Yeah,
bit.
it's not
Actually,
Yeah.
slow. Slow?
he's not slow.
No.
Yeah.
Not
So
slow.
if
You're
if
right though. He can be petulant sometimes, which I don't like,
yeah,
and that's a sign of immaturity, coach. That comes with time.
he would rather stop using big words.
petulant, meaning like he does things like fouling that is not necessary. It's
But that's you say
spiteful. He's
that
spiteful.
exuberant, youthful exuberant, or inexperienced.
Oh, exuberant. It's such a small word, coach.
Yeah, no, that one is
Overruled. Next.
But here's the thing. To this argument, I think his everything was slow. If anything, too much in a hurry to make decisions. I wish if he'd slowed down, actually, he'd look more like a better player than he is.
And you know why, coach? You know why? That's because he's reading the game a fraction of a second too late, because he hasn't got enough game time. If you notice that.
Yeah, experience. That's where experience comes into play. Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Unfortunately, guys, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Let's switch to the next topic. I can't get everything. We started late. And I know I've gotten nearly everybody I'm seeing there. If I see anybody that haven't read their contribution, then I'll try to read it. Coach, then this is what happens when you see your panel still rise. It encourages poor takes.
Oh,
okay. Wow. In English, you have a good coaching a younger squad because of investment in development. So Gallagher don't need a coach. He's not good. Really. I know you want to go to heaven. Thanks for the lecture. I know most people don't know who you are talking about. Gallagher should consider his position to be Kante's understudy. He will do better in a deeper line midfield. Somebody's just joined the Bobby and Roger gang.
Checks in the mail, mate.
As his pet project. You know, some players, they're like a manager just want to transform a player, like what Mourinho did to Mikel.
Yeah.
Or be Mikel. So maybe if a manager, but Chelsea don't have time for that.
That's why I'm saying there's no time for that in terms of, especially where we find ourselves right now. But let's see what happens. If he gets the chance and continue doing well, fine. Short of what, coach? He's asking me. Zakaria has shown he's shown talent. The talent isn't the question. Can he stay fit?
Yeah, this is the question.
Yeah, that's the question I'm asking. Fitness is the issue. Yeah, he's actually he can. I think Kante is again defensively. Kante beats him, but Zakaria adds more to his game than we see if you've watched him play for Chelsea.
Coach.
There's more to his game that we can get from Kante, but he cannot measure Kante in terms of breaking up opposition play and reading the game. But go ahead, Roger.
Coach, if hypothetically Zakaria all of a sudden starts to stay healthy, would you want him to stay? Would you want us to sign him?
Yeah.
Same here.
It's a bargain. I think it's 28 million pounds in total because it was around 35 or 34 million euros they're asking us. My fear is his fitness. That's it.
Yeah, ditto.
Since he's joined us, he's been injured twice, right? And at one point it was a fitness issue.
Yeah, that's why I think he didn't start until very late. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, indeed. It's not because of his playing ability. No, we don't just want to pay that money and he ends up being fit every now and then. He plays 25 minutes and boom, he gets injured.
Read this, coach.
Yeah. Coach VAR says the beautiful game gets a serious yellow card for tackling the entire. He's another guy. He's gone under the radar, but he can be seriously funny.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially the last week, especially.
Yeah. I'm going to try and get the comments of those that I haven't read their comments. It can please. There's quite a lot to get to. And Mario Minto, Happy New Year. I know this is the first time I'm seeing you since the New Year. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm late. What are we panicking about today?
It's a good one, Mario.
Yeah, to
today's
Rodrigo,
Man
maybe.
City. Mario,
maybe.
Mario, today's Man City, amigo. We're not panicking about Chelsea today.
Yeah, it's Rodrigo. You be the one to tell him again. You get the situation here, not me. You're the panic bus driver, so everything about panicking. The answers they should try and get answers from you. Again, thank you. Nice to see you, Mario. I hope you're doing well. Breaking news: Chelsea being investigated by the FA. I don't believe that really. Again, I know I'd hear it from other places if that's the case.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Cucurella probably in another show. Again, but
that's
believe
a good
me,
point. Though we do.
Yeah,
eventually.
we have space. Yeah, but tomorrow we'll build the lineup since we have clarity of all the players who signed, including Nkunku, they got the 2023-2024 season line of best 11. Nkunku, Santos, all the players we think will be part of the team. Then the next day after, we have a few days to start talking about player performances, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But that makes, Question, has coach lost control of the panel or have the clowns taking over the seconds? Answer in a super chat. That's creative there. That creative there, but pick up, brother. Again, anything, let's scroll to the very bottom, please. Apologies, guys, I can't get everything. As much as I love your contributions, there's quite a lot. And Broskit, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. And Copper here, again, just having a conversation. It's Kami. After seeing the Man City news, I feel like the Homer Simpson's meme, where he backs up into the bush. FFP, stay away, please. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Okay.
Oh,
wow. That's a way to say it.
Who has time to type all of that?
Sorry?
That comment. Who has time to type it like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about Gallagher. He's very basic and average. If he's along with Ziyech, okay. Alba and solid this summer, and Alba it isn't down to him really for being honest here. Gallagher speeds like a rocket. Okay, the manager likes that. With Enzo and Kovacic, it will be different. Okay, our brain and engine will be different. I agree with you. Olupol, it's been a minute, brother. How have you been? Happy New Year to you too. To you, I know we haven't seen in a while. Again, I hope you're doing well. Again, how some of our key players become so bad all of a sudden. I don't know. If anybody has to say anything about that, go ahead. And I don't think this one here needs any answer. Let's catch up and call it a day as soon as possible before I'm in a rush to leave here. Does anybody has any answer to this question on the screen? I think it's a question, or should I call it a statement? I don't know.
I'm forced quickly to the manager.
I think no. I think it's a myriad of many things. A, injuries. B, out of form. And, an influx of new players. It takes time. It's simple as that. And a new manager too. It's just a myriad of things. It takes time.
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, that's true. How about you, Rodrigo?
But Rome was destroyed in a day, wasn't it?
We're talking about building, not destroying.
Rodrigo, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think it's mainly the manager, because I've seen new players come in. It's funny how every new signing, right, when we saw them coming out, like first 30 minutes, we're like, wow, they look really good. And then when they have a training session, bit more time with the manager, in the next game, they look absolutely bad.
Please expand. Like who?
Like, Mudryk wasn't
he had
well.
a head cold, so you can't say that. Go on,
I hate arguing about that, but again, I'm not going to talk about why he started in the first place if he had a cold, because I'm sure the manager is well aware that he wasn't feeling well. But go ahead, Rodrigo, if you're still talking.
Who else?
Well, let's see how the other signing play on. Let's see how Felix.
No. You said players plural. Who else? Come on.
Oh, technicality.
Exactly.
VR.
Yeah, he's a lawyer. He has to get you something. He's Porter's lawyer. Again, Chelsea forward Pierre America Aubameyang will look for new options in the summer. I don't blame him. I think he needs to move on. Plus a player of his, you could say, quality. Yeah, he's a quality player. And his profile, leaving him out of the Champions League squad means, immediately he's not going to be happy.
No.
Again, but I don't. I think he's already showing the sign by being at Milan where we're busy playing. It wasn't like he was sick.
Well, was he in Milan? He went to Milan.
Yeah, they said. Yeah, the rumors are he traveled to Milan.
Yeah. He was in Italy.
So it wasn't like he was sick. So if that's the case, he's already showing the sign. So and we paid 16 million for him. So even if we can get anything 5, 7, 8, that will be fine. So we shouldn't try to let him go off the hook and say, okay, we're canceling your contract. No. Yes, people, please keep liking the stream and also
we're gonna talk about Uncle Flicks.
That's the next topic. That's the one we round off with. Again, it's all down to Potter. Again, his man managing doesn't exist. You think so? I think that's actually his man managing too much, actually, that's become an issue. Always wants peace, not telling players to their face how badly they played and all that. They become bad because they are not world class. They can play just on short term. You think Ziyech should be a sub at best. You mean against West Ham? We have to move forward. Too bad we're paying him quite a lot of money, so he should be a professional and perform. Otherwise, no club will be willing to take him from Chelsea when summer comes, if that makes sense. They play under Tuchel bad also under a coach who wins Champions League. So stop blaming Potter. It makes no sense. Okay, that's your argument. Potter thought the only way to make Ziyech happy is by playing him. Well, that's emotional intelligence part of him that asked him to play him. Maybe you could say, reposition his emotions for him to be in the right frame of mind to play. While again we're on the subject, has Havas still got COVID?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that.
COVID.
Yeah, the COVID. Yeah, I get it. And I shouldn't even pronounce that because the channel can get into trouble. I don't know why that is. Again, who warned me about that? I've forgotten. Potter probably feels like the head teacher at the school with all these 20-year-old players we have now. If I'm being honest, the younger players will actually do well for Potter.
Yeah.
He's going to excel with younger.
Yeah, he was
He's the opposite of Mourinho, the opposite.
Yeah, because the younger player, plus again, one factor is this: the older ones who's won again a few trophies here and there, you could say there's a chance they're questioning his his ability as a coach,
his methodology, whatever.
Yeah, his methodology and all that. But the younger ones will always say, okay, how do you want it? Because they want to be part of the team. They want to show what they're capable of doing. Multitude of you can say reasons why when you look at them, you could say, yeah, the younger ones, he's better afield than the younger ones. But it doesn't look like he's come to that conclusions that he's better off with the younger ones. Look at them when they come on. Look at how they run. Look what the difference they make. They play more like they want to win. If
they're
that
hungry.
Makes sense to you. Yeah, they're hungry. Yeah. Quite a lot here. Let me see what Kami says again. I wonder if he gives them homework. Yeah. Then that may well be the case. Go home, watch this match, learn from it, learn from what player A, B, C, D did. I would do that as a coach. It's easy again to say Potter is guilty because again, it's hard to turn on brain and wow. Kindergarten teacher hands again, all the running around. It makes sense to you now. Why the spotter clap when players do bare minimum? He needs to demand more. Well, it's not up to me. Let's say again, Leeds sack the manager. Really?
No way.
The American. Wow.
No way. Where
are they on the table?
Must be a breaking news now.
Yeah,
they're right at the bottom, like 17th or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Coach, I swear again, waking up as an American to football news is funny. I woke up and saw the City news. Yeah, it's moving. Really. Let's start with the Hansi, again, the manager position. The rumors, the Enrique rumors is coming from Spanish outlets, some English outlets also. And the Hansi Flick rumor, not really. I think that one stems from the fact that he was at the stadium.
He was at the bridge, yeah.
Yeah, at the bridge, and was sitting with the board. He was sitting with somebody from the Chelsea hierarchy. So Rodrigo,
coach, it's not just sitting. It's where he was sitting. Usually, when a guest come, they sit in the director box. He was sitting in a different spot, like so almost like sitting to watch the players.
So which means they knew he was coming. Somebody says he was there to watch Havertz. Watch Havertz for what?
For what?
He knows him quite well.
So see, listen. If you have a look, you have a look at, the English manager. He will go to specific games when he knows there's, let's say, an average or more than average amount of English players starting.
Ben Leno.
Leno. But seriously, that's funny. But seriously, that's what managers do when they coach national teams. They travel, to different places to see and have a look at their specific players in real time. Because you can get more from an actual viewing point. It's the truth. Southgate does it all the time. You'll see him.
But Southgate doesn't sit.
Where does he sit?
Yeah.
Where does he sit?
It's the director box.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, they're sitting in the nice leather seat. I don't know about it as a box, but they're sitting outside. But
so where he seated means they knew he was coming. There's a chance he might have informed them that he wants to come watch her lads. But I'll let you drop again. Rodrigo, have you dropped before the Potter's lawyer come in? Because he's been proactive. He's been proactive about his clients here.
I honestly think, if obviously again, if I'm being logical, being fair to Potter, I think he deserves to end the season with us, and then we can look again at his position.
He does deserve to end the season with us.
He actually does deserve to end the season with us. As much as it pains me to say this, I think Potter deserves to finish the season at Chelsea.
Why do you say that?
Because we've signed what? I would say 5 first-team players in January. So
plus the village of injured players.
Injured players. He's barely had like consistent. He's barely had consistent faces in training to implement whatever he's trying. Even though I don't think he's done anything.
Bobby, I'll come to you. Let Rodrigo drop.
So for me, at best, we go to the end of the season, we revalue. For me, the reason I really want to keep Potter to that extent is I feel like he's already gone through this process of identifying, I hope so, the players that you want to keep or want to get rid of. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you need to see out. Because I feel like if another manager comes in, some players might get a second life, a second look. And then because as fans, we know someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek needs to go. Someone like, Ziyech needs to go. But maybe another coach will come in and say, right, I want to have a good look in Ruben or this or that. And then, you delay that process. So that's the only thing I feel like Potter needs to stay till the end of the season.
Sure.
But if results don't change, I won't be surprised if they pull the trigger. And I hope
it makes sense that he stays to the end of the season. Then you have again, if he doesn't do well, like you said, and if you sack him, then you can justify your decision. Because right now, somebody can look at it and bring up the village of injured players, or come up with the ideas, see how many changes we've made and all that. So
the
it
media
makes sense.
will grill Bowley.
Unless the wheels fall off the truck, I think he should be given till next Christmas.
Roger, let's wrap him, Bobby. Roger, I'll come for you in a bit. Yeah.
I think what got tongues wagging more than anything else was that, okay, he came to do his little supervision of the German players.
Is he still the German coach? Let's find out. I'll find out for you.
I think he is.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Of
Till
both,
the Euro.
Fulham and Chelsea. But he was sat and flanked on either side by Joe Shields, who's the co-director of recruitment and talent, and Carl Macaulay, who's the recruitment analyst. And not too far away from that was Paul Winstanley, all sat in the director's box with this geezer. Now, they ain't going to be talking to him about German players for Chelsea and Fulham at all. And he was certainly in a lot of deep discussion with Joe Shields. So that's where people thought, what's going on here? It could be nothing. It could be something. It could be a delayed issue because he's still with the German national team,
but that's
and
no
we
guarantee.
still have a coach. Well, exactly. I mean, there's no inexhaustible longevity in either of these jobs. So that's what people were thinking about, and because he's such a desirable coach, then a lot of Chelsea fans, including myself, started to dream and fantasize.
You like him?
But I think for what we want and where we want to be, he certainly is. I mean, we could do worse. Do you know what I mean? If we change from Potter, The guy is up there. He's one of the big boys.
Yeah.
Champions League winner. He's not small fry. And I tend to like German coaches. I think technically they
So
know
do
what
I.
they're doing.
Yes.
Um,
So do I.
but all said and done, um, Potter's still in position. Potter's still having his chance because he hasn't really had his chance. If we're fair, the
Yeah,
guy's been dealing
yeah,
with the
he
walking
has.
wounded. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe after a good preseason and all the players in, Potter will start ripping up trees. It wouldn't surprise me at all because I don't think you necessarily have to have won everything in the world to become a winner. I think you need to start from somewhere. And who knows, what better place to start winning than at Chelsea?
Hmm. Let me get what we have in the chat, and I'll go with Roger. And with Roger, I think we'll call it a day again. But that's what international coaches do. He could do that from his living room, and even better have replays to even take a closer look, if that makes sense. But Chama, big up to you. Again, I am going to finish my walk early and catch the LA Lakers game. Enjoy and let us know how it goes tomorrow. Garrett and Mancini do it as well. All national team managers do it. But again, there is no imminent. Is there any again international assignment for Harvard? Close? Anything close? No, I don't think so. But again, Garrett, yeah, they all do it. Chama can Hansi Flick already? No, he's not sacked. Hansi Flick has his job there. So again, in fact, because I did a search now, there is again a statement by the German Federation. Hansi Flick will remain the German national team coach in December. Again, that's in December 7th.
That doesn't mean anything, though.
It doesn't mean anything, but that's December 7th. That's is this sacked?
Who?
Let me be sure what I'm looking at. Yeah, he's staying. He's staying as German national coach. Nothing changed. A German coach Hansi Flick and staff staying. Yep, that's 7 days ago. So he's still the German national team coach. No, Kuchelagan, that's what they do. I know they do that, but it doesn't mean anything. You've seen, for instance, again, that's no different from Carlo Ancelotti being the Everton manager and was happy. I pretended he was happy for the Everton project, and boom, Real Madrid came calling. He left his job. Yeah, it's no guarantee really. I think who else did it? I think a lot of managers. I think Julian. How do you pronounce his name?
Lopetegui.
I think he did it. Either he left the national team for Madrid team. Yeah, he left the Spanish national team to go coach
at a major tournament.
Yeah, to go coach Real Madrid. So these things, and the fact that he's still is still the German national team coach doesn't make any difference.
No,
but here's the thing: I still say I want Potter to remain to the end of the season. Give him enough time. There's a first for everything. There's a chance in 2, 3, 4 games now we'll start cooking. You never know. Flick could have stayed home and just watch this team. He'd get all the info he needs to make up his mind. That's the truth. So yeah, him being at the stadium doesn't mean he becomes the next manager.
Do you know why they actually go to the game as opposed to watch it on TV? Because
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, because this is what a lot of former players say. You get to see the field from its entire perspective, its entire range view. So you can see how people are interchanging. If you notice, like I noticed when I was watching the World Cup game, when I wanted to watch Enzo, the camera angles change constantly. You don't get the big picture at all. You don't. You only get
Naughty's. Yeah, that's very correct. Thank you so much for educating me on that. Naughty said that project again. They said that that project is for the future and still wants a result immediately. Potter will crash under pressure because of us. No. Let me say this. If Potter cracks under pressure because of what the fans thinks, then he shouldn't be a Chelsea coach.
I agree.
If that makes sense to you.
I don't subscribe to that theory. I really don't.
Yeah, no, that shouldn't move him. If anything, he learns from it. He learns from the constructive criticism.
I think, Coach, listen, Klopp is a world class. Pep is world class. They still get criticism. If you're coaching Yeovil Town, you're going to have fans that are going to criticize you. That's part of the job. You have to accept that. You cannot please everyone in virtually every sport, actually. So.
Yeah, again, thank you so much, guys. We have just about 3 minutes to round up. I have to go take care of something. We've seen that news, and thank you so much for providing it once more. Again, here's the thing: whether people see the big picture or not, what they think doesn't affect Potter's future. Results, and results only
and
is what can. Exactly, a relationship with the owners, but more importantly, results, because it doesn't matter.
Tuchel, it wasn't results; it was relationship. But yes, 99%
so again,
is results.
Yeah. So results results are important. Again, that's what will wield a great influence on whether he stays or not. But it's not, again, if you check his overall performance at Chelsea, it's not that bad yet, because it hasn't gotten worse as to a length where you'd say they're definitely going to let him go. Can we still start another rebuild next season? No. Yes, then. No, I don't get that, but no, we're not starting another rebuilding. We know about that. Again, Flick came all the way to the bridge to tell Chelsea, if you get Rice, I am coming. Let's see, bring on the theories. Please, guys, keep liking the stream. 105 likes. At least we made it to 100. That's good enough. People are rooting for our manager's downfall. That is so weird, but does it change anything? It doesn't really. But I think that is hardest job to take now. Oh yeah, the Chelsea job is never an easy job. I think with that, we've come to the natural end of the show. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Roger.
No, I think it was a great panel. Thanks, Rodrigo. And Bobby, as always, it's absolutely my pleasure.
I'm going to DM you guys the summary of the Man City situation.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Bobby. With that, I want to say thank you to all the people in the chat. It's been an excellent show. Eugene, lots of contributions from you. I appreciate that. Much love, brother. You earn a moderator role soon. Keshawn, big up to you. Liam Lane, the captain of the house. Much love, brother. I appreciate you. And the beautiful game. Thank you so much. The Prince, thank you. The Prince is here. As the band will say, thank you so much. Feded, much love to you. Who else did I miss anything? Chama, the queen of the house, thank you so much for all the love and care and always finding time to join the show. I appreciate that. And it's Kami.
Hello?
If I can miss saying your name, apologies again. Thank you guys enough. I hope that doesn't stay too long. Okay, let's see. Yep, with that, we've come to the natural end of the show, but my screen is still frozen. I cannot say goodbye.
Take care, Coach.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, brother. Again,
you're freezing, Coach.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that makes sense. He can move to the US. Nothing stops him from going to the US. This stream, it's been fun. I cannot lie. Roger, for how long was I on mute?
A couple of hours.
Take care. Much love to everyone. Again, I think
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Liam, again, it's Kami. It's Kami, another captain of the house. Again, a big up to you too. Much love, brother. Thank you guys again, Chelsea FFP. Okay, we'll see that. I hope that works out. 2019 Arteta or 2023 Arteta. God, let's see what happens. Thank you guys. See you guys next time. God bless us all and bye.
Cheers, Coach.
Cheers to you too, brother.